Are we live?
We are live.
Hey, we're live.
Hey. I mean, we're going to be a few minutes. There will be lag.
Sure.
But we are live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Illuminated Page. I'm Matt, and I'm here with some other people that are fancy and dressed up, and also Roxy. She's fancy, just not dressed up.
I'm at least dressed. That's what's important.
So to give you guys an idea what we're doing tonight, we are going to be playing Call of Cthulhu. We're going to be playing Masks of Nyarlathotep. You can maybe see that on the stream right now in the bottom right-hand corner. Some information is going to come up down there in the bottom right-hand corner. It's all going to be good information, like we're playing 7th edition.
Yeah, we're playing 7th edition. I am going to take out that 4th edition cover, though, real quick, because I never finished that slide. So.
Oh, yeah. You should grab that out of there. That's not a big deal. So Call of Cthulhu is a horror game based off of the writings of H.P. Lovecraft and other writers over time. It's been around for a while. I think, John, you and I just talked about this on another podcast. Yeah. On a podcast. This is not a podcast. This is a stream.
It could be a podcast if we wanted it to be.
It will be a podcast,
That's
I'm sure.
up for you to decide, America.
As a heads up, we are playing in the 1920s, specifically 1925. So we are going to be using terms and sayings from those times, like the bee's knees. Some of the material may be slightly offensive. We're not going to be doing anything. We're going to be very careful about what we say and how we say it, like we should be. But the module is written with the vernacular of the time. But it's not very often. But keep in mind that, Roxanne is playing a woman, and that will play into how the NPCs interact with her. Same thing with Shawn. Sorry.
Yep. No,
Shawn is playing a private investigator, but he doesn't have money, so that might play into how things are going to be played with some NPCs. So that's just kind of a heads up. That's how we're going to roll. I'm going to do the warning a couple of times over the next few streams. We are doing this once every other week, so fortnightly. Because I just wanted to say fortnightly.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at a note that somebody left me at the shop about our homeschool D&D group, and she also used the term fortnightly. And I was like,
it's a good
that
term.
is a healthy word. You are a homeschool mom. You are using the homeschool vernacular.
So we're going to be running 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or Standard Time, I don't know, Eastern Time, until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for you Central people, which is where we're at right now.
We are. We made the ones from the Eastern join us.
I had to schlock all the way down here to deep in the heart of Texas. So we will be doing this. We're going to take a break about halfway through when I feel like there's a good break point for maybe 10, 15 minutes to give us all a chance to stretch our legs.
Perfect thing would be an hour and 25 minutes into the stream. We could do that.
I will do it when it's appropriate. I hope they can see me hard blinking at you.
Probably.
I'm waiting for the Twitch to... Yeah, no, you can totally see me hard blinking. That's good.
Yeah, there's some hard blinking.
Let's do some...
Don't get too distracted by the Twitch over there.
I'm not. Let's do some introductions. So, Shawn, we're going to start with you.
All right.
Let's go over these questions. Why don't you tell me a little bit while I'm pulling up my email that I sent out like last week. Don't worry about this. I've got it.
All right.
I asked you some questions in that email about the stuff, about your gaming.
History.
So why don't we go over that?
All right.
It's right there.
Is that your
Boom.
chat?
Yeah. Probably. So your name is Shawn Parks, right?
My name is Shawn Parks.
How long you been gaming?
Wow. Since I was 5. You started out with Milton Bradley board games.
I like that you avoid how long and you just tell us the age you started.
Well, considering I'm about to do 45, y'all can do the math.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, and I started when I was 5 or 6 playing like Hi Ho Cheerio and all the different Milton Bradley board games.
How long have you been playing role-playing games?
Since I was 14.
Okay.
And then I took a little, about 20-year break because it got hard to find people to play with during that time.
Yeah, I get that. Do you have a favorite role-playing game?
It's gonna sound cliche, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. That's what I
Sure.
started.
No, that's good.
That's what I started with. That's kind of what I love.
No, that makes sense. I have a soft spot for Dungeons and Dragons too. Who is your character?
My character is Aaron Lockhart. I am about 35 years old, and I'm a private investigator.
Cool. So what does Aaron Lockhart look like? Who would play him in a movie?
Humphrey Bogart. That's kind of
okay.
I was envisioning. I wanted kind of like that noir feel.
Cool. That was appropriate for the time. Good. Roxanne, we're gonna talk to you.
You're gonna talk to me?
Yeah.
Better unmute myself.
So you're Roxanne Thompson,
I am.
one half of the Thompson powerhouse.
That's us. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are not the Thompson twins.
No. It's because you're taller.
This is
You're twins like in...
like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, it's exactly
which,
like that.
if I'm the tall one, then I'm the good one. I'm the one with all the muscles and strength.
I don't know, DeVito's pretty good in that movie.
No,
Not
he's
bad.
phenomenal in that. But I think that's his line. You're the good twin.
Right.
No.
I can live with that.
How long have you been
I-
role-playing games?
I have been RPGing, roleplay gaming,
Sure.
if that's what that means, for since 2015. Late 2015 was the first time I ever played a game. I used to scoff at it because I knew a bunch of table flippers
No.
and a bunch
Yeah.
of just bullies that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If that's what you guys are doing, I'm not interested
Okay.
in playing with you guys. And so it took me until I met my husband.
The other half of the Thompson
The other half
powerhouse.
of the Thompson powerhouse to kind of get me into it. So
Excellent. Tell us about your character.
my character is Jewell Rumtree,
All right.
and she is a museum curator currently living in Arkham, but from Savannah, Georgia.
Then you work at Miskatonic University
That is correct.
in the their little museum thing going on there. Oh, that's not important.
Ignore that. Yeah, I don't know why that's coming up.
So tell us a little about what your character looks like. What how would you?
She is about 5'11",
Sure.
sturdy, because I rolled high on size.
Right.
So she, we had a discussion about what a sturdy weight for a 6 foot tall woman would be. I've always been a 6 foot. I've been a 6 foot tall woman for many years, and I'm pretty sturdy, but I'm also maybe too sturdy. So I would like her to be a little less than too sturdy. So I'm gonna say that she's we'll say 240,
Sure.
250.
Yeah. Got some muscles.
Yeah, she ain't fooling around. She wears generally at profession she does not like to wear skirts, which is still kind of taboo, but the youth that are much younger than she is are wearing like the knicker style sport pants
Sure.
or breeches. So I think one article I read called them togs. So if you know what togs are, that's what she wears. And at work when she's more professional, she's got like the wide-legged, flowing pants or the trousers or pants that women were wearing at that time.
Sure.
I think sometimes they're called beach pajamas,
Sure.
and it sounds like that shouldn't be like what you would wear in front of people, but you know what they did? They did it a lot. Pajamas became a fashion item.
Okay. So would you say if you were in Boondock Saints, you could have been the serial crusher? That's your size? You could have been a huge friggin' guy?
Sure. We're just going to get into all the movies I've never seen.
Really? Like, there's some good lines out of that
Boondock Saints
particular
is super
movie.
violent, though,
It
right?
is, but there are some really good lines. You don't have to watch the
It's
violent
got
parts
Norman
for it.
Reedus in it, right?
Yeah,
Rule of thumb. Can't really do much with that now, can you?
no. They explain a rule of thumb. which-
Okay.
yeah. So, no, it's got Norman Reedus. It's got Green Goblin from the first
Willem
Spider-Man.
Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe.
mean, he's-
and Billy Connolly.
Not placing him. Billy Connolly.
Talking about
That's
the
not who
Scottish
played-
actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Scottish actor. He was like in Head of the Class. He was
He was the
in,
teacher and head of the class from the 1980s.
and then in
Oh.
Lemony Snicket, he was the first uncle that had the snake.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh, and he was the voice of Meredith's father in Brave.
What Billy
Oh,
is Dr.
cool.
Manhattan?
Billy Crudup?
That's the one. Okay.
Sure.
Getting my Billies mixed up. My Billy C's.
Yeah, sure. So David, in the far off land of Louisiana.
You don't have a funny song for that?
No,
too?
I really don't. No, I could sing "Down on the Bayou," but then the new rats will attack me.
How
and I'll
about
die.
Blue? How about Blue Bayou? Let's sing that.
I don't know
Let's
that song.
bring out some royalties.
Nothing that we don't have any royalties to? How about that?
Yeah.
We got 10 seconds, y'all. We got
Yeah.
10 seconds before they
So
flag us.
David McFarland with a D, right? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
McFarland. Yes.
McFarland.
How long have you been playing the role-playing games?
Since I was 18.
Okay. And what? Oh, I'm sorry, Roxanne. We'll get back to you on that question because I missed one. What's your favorite RPG?
I'm pretty partial to the White Wolf systems. The one that really got me in was the Vampire the Masquerade game.
Sure.
That's what really got me into role-playing and kind of kept me around. So.
Okay, cool. And tell us about your character. Who is your character?
I am playing Dr. Charles Daulphus Merriweather Hardgrove,
Oh, nice.
PhD.
Okay.
Professor
Dumbledore.
of Archaeology
Okay.
at Miskatonic University.
Excellent. And tell us of the description of your character. Who's going to play them in a movie?
Oh, I don't know. Did I send you that? Because I don't know if I have
No,
one off
you
the top
didn't.
of my head.
You really didn't.
You didn't ask me that question either, Matt. It's fine.
I'll let you ruminate on that one for a minute, David, because I'm going to go over to Roxanne. Jeez. What's your favorite RPG, Roxanne?
I think you know the answer to that, Matt.
What
Do you not know the answer to that?
was-
Star Trek Adventures
Is it-
is my favorite RPG.
Yeah?
I love the 2D20 system.
You have a special place in your heart for that
I do.
particular game?
I love it. It reignited, or maybe kindled, a love for Star Trek in a way that I had not previously experienced in my life, aside from a nostalgic one. But I love the 2D20 role-playing system, and Star Trek Adventures is by far my favorite 2D20 game.
All right.
So,
And so Jewell Rumtree, who plays you in a...
I see
movie.
her. I mean, aside from the sturdiness that I rolled for this character, I was going with like a Gina Davis, Haley Atwell crossover.
Sure. Okay.
Like a good one, like the good-looking crossover of that, not what that could be in a bad way. So,
Sure.
not my face.
Can those two actresses actually be a bad crossover?
I mean, maybe not.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
maybe I'm being extra critical, but I mean, I just like Gina Davis's smile, and she was great in A League of Their Own and everything else.
Sure.
But A League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies.
I trust your assessment of that.
Do you know who Gina Davis
I
is?
do know who Gina Davis is. I cannot think of her in a... I don't think I've seen...
Beetlejuice, have you
Yeah,
ever
no,
seen-
I've seen... I know Beetlejuice.
But you
I
just
just
don't
couldn't think of...
remember her
I can't think of her in A League of Her Own. I don't think
She's
I've ever
the
seen
main
it.
character. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
The girls' baseball
Because
movie.
Madonna's in it, and so's Rosie O'Donnell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gina Davis is way prettier than both of those.
Tank Girl's in it, if that helps.
Tank Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lori
Lori
Petty.
Petty's in it. She's also on our wall up there, but you
Tank
guys
Girl,
can't see that.
another movie I haven't seen, so we'll just write that down on the
I
list.
haven't seen it either, but my dad loves it,
Your
It's-
dad?
and my husband.
Okay.
Yep.
Tank
I
Girl's
actually
awesome.
got to see Tank Girl with Lori Petty.
Oh.
So
That's why she signed that picture
Yeah.
for him.
Nice.
Right on. David,
Enough
did
of
you
me.
come up with an actor?
Well, I guess it'd be kind of easy to say like a younger Harrison Ford maybe, because character is a lot like an Indiana Jones type character.
Sure.
An archaeologist, does a lot of field work. He's not go out on adventures as much as like in the Indiana Jones movies. He does a lot more like real field work type things.
So he's realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But he's fit, not super athletic, but just built. He's about 6 foot tall, about 180 pounds.
Sure.
Has a full beard, graying at the temples and little salt and pepper, hair.
I did not move at all. That's cool. That's just my forehead.
I don't know why it changed.
Your mic is up.
They could still hear me. I don't know why it changed.
I don't know. I
Because
didn't do
you're
it.
the same
Yeah.
over here.
Okay.
We'll figure it out, folks.
So we'll move on to John Thompson, the DeVito half of the Thompson Power
yeah,
House.
yeah. I definitely look it, don't I?
Right. Yeah.
No,
He's got more
I am
hair.
more-
You've
I
got
am-
way more hair.
I am more DeVito than John is. That's for sure.
So tell us about your character. I'm sorry. How long have you been playing role-playing games?
Ooh. Since I was about 9 years old, I think, somewhere in that area.
Okay. Okay. And what is your favorite RPG?
I kind of have two. I have my favorite, and then I have my great white whale.
Sure.
You know, my favorite RPG is strangely Heroes Unlimited by Palladium. I'm a big superhero freak, and that every game that's superhero is my thing. But that was what got me into it.
Sure.
And then my great white whale of role playing is Seven Seas.
Okay.
because I can never find a table that wants to run it.
Sorry, you said White Whale and then Seven Seas. I thought
Yeah.
that was funny.
Oh, it's true. I thought it was a very good pun.
Yeah.
But that's me.
And now that I've popped off my questions, there we go. Tell us about who your character is.
Okay. So I am playing Robert Bobby Blackwood, and he is a dilettante.
Is Bobby his middle name?
No,
Did they
Bobby
name
is
him
whatever.
Robert Bobby? Bobby
No,
Bobby?
Bobby. No, we're not that southern.
It's the 20s. We haven't done that yet.
You have to
But,
unmute yourself.
Well, I just muted myself thinking I was already,
Yeah, but no.
welcome to doing both,
Bobby's
guys.
his nickname,
Okay.
and so yeah. But I'm a dilettante and also part-time photographer / trust fund kid who is enjoying living it up in that area of New York, Manhattan, and anywhere else up there.
Okay. And so what does Bobby look like?
Ooh, kind of your young dapper kind of guy. Suit, hat, wears a peak coat probably when he's out on the town.
Okay.
As far as like actors that
Yeah.
he looks like, I kind of went with a young Dylan McDermott was what I was thinking.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have ever seen him back in the day, but he was much less chiseled, a little more round faced.
Sure.
So,
Okay, cool. So just because I meant to do this beforehand, so we didn't do it on camera, but whatever. The Professor Hardgrove. I should be looking at that. That's going to help if I look at the stream. Professor Hardgrove and Mr. Lockhart, you two have a connection that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
When it comes to doing things in New York, when you need a little bit of research done, Professor, and you don't want to have to go all the way down to New York City, you've been known to give Mr. Lockhart a call. He's good in a library. He doesn't always know exactly what he's looking for, but he can usually find it. And if he can't find it, he can ask a librarian. He's really good about that. So you've paid him from time to time from the coffers of the university to look into things where the books you just don't have available for you at Miskatonic. And so he's run some basic errands, nothing too surprising. But Aaron and Daulphus, you both have received a contact from a man you both know named Jackson Elias. So Jackson Elias is 38, of medium height and build. You want to throw handout number 1 up there, Roxy?
Yeah.
I think you've got that prep. Yeah, you do. Look at you. Hey, listeners out there.
There we go. Try that.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to start back over with Jackson Elias. Jackson Elias is 38, of medium height and build and dark complexion. He has a feisty, friendly air about him, and as an orphan in Stratford, Connecticut, he learned to make his own way early in life. He has no living relatives and no permanent address. You both have come to like him and value his friendship, even though months and sometimes years separate one meeting from the next. You'd be upset and probably crave vengeance if anything happened to your friend. The world is a better place for having Jackson Elias in it. He is a known writer. His writings characterize and analyze death cults. His best-known book is Sons of Death, which is exposing modern-day thuggy cults in India. He speaks several languages fluently and is constantly traveling. He's social and enjoys an occasional drink. Smokes a pipe. Jackson is tough, stable, and punctual, unafraid of brawls or officials. He is mostly self-educated. His well-researched work always seems to reflect first-hand experience. He is secretive and never discusses a project until he has a final draft in hand. All of his books illustrate how cults manipulate the fears of their followers. A skeptic, Elias has never found proof of supernatural powers, magic, or dark gods. Insanity and feelings of inadequacy characterize death cults, feelings for which they compensate by slaughtering innocents to make themselves feel powerful or chosen. Cults draw them weak-minded, though cult leaders are usually clever and manipulative. When fear of a cult stops, the cult vanishes. Some of his works include Skulls Along the River from 1910, he exposed a headhunter cult in the Amazon basin. Masters of the Black Arts in 1912, that was surveys supposed sorcerers cults throughout history. Ways of Terror from 1913 analyzes systemization of fear through cult organizations, warmly reviewed by George Sorrell. The Smoking Heart from 1915. First half discusses historical Mayan death cults. The second half instances present-day Central American death cults. Sons of Death from 1918. The modern-day Thuggee writing. Elias infiltrated the cult and wrote a book about it. With Cults of England from 1920 summarizes covens in 9 English counties, interviews practicing English witches. Rebecca West thought some of the material trivial and overworked. And The Black Power in 1921, it expands on the Way of Terror, includes interviews with several anonymous cult leaders. All the books are published by Prospero Press of New York City, and all were edited by owner/editor Jonah Kensington. Kensington is also a good friend of Jackson Elias and knows you well. So, you receive a telegraph from Jackson. Throw up number 2 on there if you can.
Okay, just
It says, have information concerning Carlisle expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigation team. Stop. Arrive January 15. Stop. Signed, Jackson Elias. So, you know that Jackson is coming into town and has requested both Mr. Lockhart and Professor Hardgrove to put together a couple of people. You are both aware that you have both been contacted. Mostly because when Aaron, when you found out that Jackson was coming into town, you wanted somebody that had the knowledge. So you called the professor, and he was like, "Oh, well, I am also coming down. It'd be nice to have you along as well." You both have brought along some people. Mr. Lockhart, you brought Bobby Blackwood, who does a lot of photo work for you.
That's right.
You pay him from time to time, but honestly, he doesn't do it for the money, and you're pretty aware of that. And then Professor Hardgrove, you brought along Miss Rumtree. It is Miss or Mrs.?
It's Ms.
Ms. It's mysterious, right?
Mysterious.
Brought along Ms. Rumtree, who you've grown fond of in strange ways. She knows her way around making things work. So she may not be the most knowledgeable, but in a pinch, she'll make sure things work out enough. So that's kind of where you're at. You guys can decide to come into town a couple of days early if you want. So I know that Rumtree and Hardgrove, you will be coming from out of town. Obviously, Lockhart and Blackwood live in New York City. But Jackson says that he'll give you a call of where to meet him when he gets into town.
All right.
So I'm gonna hand it off to you guys. What do you guys think?
So, we're traveling in. Are we in New York City already, Daulphus?
I'd say at this point, yeah, let's get it.
Okay.
Do you guys want to meet up a couple of days ahead or a day ahead of time?
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah,
you
we'll
do
probably
that.
get there before. Yeah, a day ahead of time before we're supposed to be there.
Yeah, why don't we get, since Daulphus and I already know each other, we'll get Bobby and Miss Rumtree together, and they can introduce themselves, and we can all start getting to know each other.
You said you're ready through 4.
I'm ready through 6.
Okay, we'll just hold off on those for a second. I'm going to read over a couple of things for you guys to hear.
Sure.
It goes all the way to like 9 or 10, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll look at it later.
I mean, I can do them real fast. It's just not while we're role playing.
No, it's great. So, the Carlisle expedition. In 1919, shortly after the war ended, Roger Carlisle, age 24. Bobby, your family is friends with that. Was friends with that family. Was. Keep being. They were friends with family from before, but once Roger disappeared, which we'll get into, the Carlisles have the remaining Carlisle has kind of backed away from society, so it's a little harder to be friends with them. So Roger Carlisle, a millionaire playboy, fell in with some other people who were interested in artifacts and digs, which is pretty standard for money people in the year.
Digs.
Digs.
That's not what I heard.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what? Okay.
So the principal members of the expedition that he went on were him, Sir Aubrey Penhew of the Penhew Foundation in London. He is a titled, wealthy, and noted Egyptologist. Hypatia Masters, a beautiful society girl, and an accomplished photographer and linguist. Jack Brass Brady, he's a mercenary soldier, weapons expert, and Carlisle's personal confidant and bodyguard, and a Dr. Robert Huston. He's a fashionable psychoanalyst and interpreter of dreams. They went from New York to London to meet with Sir Aubrey Penhew. After a few weeks, they departed for Egypt, and then using Cairo's base, they started to do some short desert excavations. After a time in Egypt, they decided to go to Nairobi. While in Nairobi, the Carlisle expedition was massacred, supposedly by the natives. Erica Carlisle, Roger's sister, went out, sent a search party out, and they found the remains of the expedition 10 weeks after 10 weeks of effort. The corpses of the bearers were remarkably well preserved and appeared to have been pulled apart by animals. There was a lot going on around this. It was a pretty big scandal in 1919, so 6 years ago. So there was a lot going on around it, but it's kind of died down by now. But Jackson mentions it directly in his the Carlisle expedition directly in his telegraph.
Okay.
Telegram.
Big telegram.
Is the physical. Telegraph is
This is the method.
So that gives you guys a little bit of background so you can discuss it. We won't worry about the Dateline news articles stuff.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Which handout would you particularly be needing next?
If you throw up 9.
Go ahead and get 9? Okay,
Yeah.
give me just a second.
It's the most important and impressive. And I don't think we need another one right away. I'd be surprised if we need another one right away.
There you go.
Yeah. So you meet at a small diner or somewhere nicer?
Probably diner, I would think.
Depends on who's footing the bill.
Right. That's up to you, Bobby.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I prefer diner. I prefer diners anyway.
Yeah, no, I know a place, and yeah.
Good with a diner.
Yeah, they got great food. It'll be my treat.
All right, sounds great.
So you guys kind of grab dinner together on the 14th, knowing that he'll be in the next day.
What month is this, did you say?
January. So it is cold and blustery in January. It has been snowing, but it doesn't seem to slow the cars, although compared to today, the cars are not moving very fast.
Sure.
It is typical New York City in the 1920s, so overcrowded. There are small homeless camps here and there,
Sure.
but you all are also seeing buildings just going up all over the place. This is the age of building a lot in New York. So, yeah, lots of activity inside in New York City.
Sure. Yeah, this is a very active time.
Boomtown. Yeah.
So this, Aaron, this might be a chance for you to introduce Bobby to the professor and Ms. Rumtree.
Okay. Daulphus, it is great to see you. How have you been?
I've been doing well, Aaron. How about you?
Oh, not bad. Paying the bills. That's about all I can say. I'd like to introduce you to my associate. This is Bobby Blackwood. He's kind of part of the firm. He takes pictures for me.
Yeah. Like to think so.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Blackwood.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hardgrove.
Dr. Hardgrove, or
Uh,
CD as my friends call me.
Okay, Doctor. Doctor, nice to meet you too. So, I guess you got a friend with you as well, huh?
Yes, let me introduce you to Ms. Rumtree. She works with me at Miskatonic University.
Miss Rumtree, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Investigator Lockhart.
Aaron, please.
Aaron.
And so you two work together?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not a professor. I just curate the items at Miskatonic University's. We have a few little exhibitions. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
She's being modest. She knows how to get things done.
Yeah, but this, I'm trying to put everything together. So you two work together. We two work together. I mean,
And
this is kind of a business thing going on.
Well, Daulphus and I received a telegram from a friend of ours who seems to need some help.
Okay. Any ideas? What kind of help? I mean, this is.
The telegram referenced, I think you got the same one as well, Daulphus, referenced
Indeed.
the Carlisle expedition.
Oh, I know the Carlisle family. Yeah, no.
Oh, do you?
Well, yeah, kind
Okay.
of. We knew the family. Our families kind of interacted and whatnot, but
Kind of
Yeah.
fell apart.
I guess you could say that. I mean, for obvious reasons, but no. So
and we've seen the news story in the newspaper.
what?
I mean,
Yeah.
the professor and I did. Would think that you guys saw it as well. It was quite well publicized that the Carlyles the expedition ended poorly.
No, actually, I hadn't heard about that. I had just pretty much returned back from overseas in the war.
Oh.
And when this occurred, it sounds like. So I'm not that
Ah.
familiar with it.
Well, it did not go well for them.
Really.
Yeah, they were all massacred.
Oh.
So where was your friend? When was the last time y'all spoke to your friend? I mean,
It's been some time for me. I mean, that's kind of his motive. He kind of comes and goes when he's in town.
Mhm.
We meet up, have a good time. Sometimes he has some work. Sometimes he just wants to get coffee.
so whatever his trouble is, it isn't local.
No, it won't be local. Not if
Okay.
it's referencing the Carlisle expedition, which was
Yeah, but it's nowhere near here, obviously. Okay, well, hey, you know me, I'm always up for a good story, good chance to get some good photos.
yeah. This might be the opportunity. He, in case you have not familiar with him, he studies death cults in India a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From the from the point of view that he has never found anything spooky, something weird, something supernatural. I mean, his writings has always debunked the mystical of death cults and just focused on their fear-mongering to control their people.
Okay. So he looks into that sort of thing.
Yep.
You think this might have to do with something like that? Where was he recently?
I don't know where he's been. He travels a lot. He doesn't have a permanent address. In fact, I don't. Daulphus, you might. I don't ever have a way to contact him. He always contacts me.
I've got some contact information for him. I believe it's still recent. I haven't really heard from him since before the war.
Okay. Well. Wow. Just yeah.
So, the professor didn't let me in on a whole lot, but tell me again why. I mean, are we meeting Jackson Elias?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow we are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All of us. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll all go together.
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't supposed to meet somebody.
Well, no, but I'm
Like,
just like, you know,
go
this
do
is.
something.
I can't imagine, you know, what it could be. That's just me.
Well, you know-
I'm trying to figure it out.
I
But,
want you at the meeting, Bobby, because you know, if it's too much, you don't have to do it.
Oh no.
You know,
No.
That way, you know, you can hear what's going on for yourself and make your decision on if you want to pursue this or not.
Well, look, I mean, I got a brand new camera. I am always looking to try and test it out. There's big competition right now for photographers. I mean, right now, like the biggest thing is, I mean, Jack Dempsey just got himself a professional photographer. We're getting boxing pictures going up all over New York. I mean, this is. I don't know what exactly he wants, but
It could make a name for yourself.
yeah, absolutely. You know, as long as and if it's not local, it means I don't have to worry about certain people in powerful positions being upset with photography of whatever it is. You know.
Yeah, you can kind of get out from your family shadow.
I wasn't going to say that. But, you know.
Well, you know, that's how. You know, I'm
Well,
going to tell you.
I
I'm
think-
going to tell you. I'm going to tell it to you straight.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But no. That's Hey.
You know what? I would just my philosophy is, whatever happens tomorrow will take care of itself. Don't worry about it today. I think we came here to get some food.
That's a good point. Now the food here is absolutely wonderful. I call over a waitress.
Yeah. You get your, you know, typical New York waitress. She
What is that?
it's gonna be less effective when I'm not here.
The slow blink. What's her name? Peg?
Sue.
Sue.
Yeah, you gotta sue. So she takes your order, brings you back some food. It is it's standard fare. It's good. It's good for a nice greasy little diner, but it's nothing that nothing that'll kill you.
Today.
It's not diner lobster.
That
Did
I
we
mean,
watch?
it is
Did
the
you watch
20s,
that
I don't
video with
know.
me earlier this week?
I did not.
Okay, that might have been John.
Diner lobster.
John, the other John.
Yeah.
There's too many Johns in this house
yeah.
right now.
So
And yet not enough bathrooms.
you guys kind of wrap up. Hardgrove has a couple of rooms set up for you guys at a hotel nearby. Not super upscale, but nice enough that you don't feel weird and creeped out by staying there.
Okay, cool.
In the early or in the late morning the next day on the 15th, Aaron, you get a call from Jackson.
Okay.
It is short. He doesn't let you speak.
Okay.
Like he's just talking over you the whole time.
Okay.
It's frantic and anxious and very cryptic. You would have to say that he comes off as frightened, which
Okay.
is very uncharacteristic of him. He tells you, I'm at the Chelsea, room 410. Meet me at 8 p.m. tonight. I will tell you guys everything you need to know. You did get some people?
Yeah, I got people.
Okay. And you've got a sidearm, right?
I always carry it.
Okay.
Is this that serious?
Yeah, just meet me at 8 p.m. tonight.
All right.
And he hangs up.
At the Chelsea?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The rest of the day goes along without too much of a hitch. 7:55, you guys head to the Chelsea. It's not the nicest of hotels. It's a little dingy, a little rough, but it's probably got good rates. And you know, when you're moving around the world, you're used to different accommodation types, so it's not that big of a deal. You make it up to the room right about on time, maybe a couple minutes early. You knock on the door. So you walk down the hall. It's kind of dingy and not well lit, but lit enough. Can I get everyone to give me a listen roll? So for our listeners at home, for our watchers at home, because you're watching us, you guys, they're going to be rolling skills. These are all percentile based. They want to roll under their score. Hopefully roll under their score. We've got a couple of levels of successes. There's normal success. So, for instance, Roxanne, what is your listen?
My listen is a whopping 35.
Okay, let's do a better higher listen. Who's got a decent listen?
I got 87.
Okay, so let's talk about your 87. If you rolled under an 87, you get a normal success.
Yep.
What's the next number for your hard success?
For my listen?
Yes. Should be half. So
Oh,
42.
well, I rolled in. Well,
Or-
sorry, I
yeah.
rolled in 87. My listen's 20.
Oh, no,
My
no,
bad,
no,
sorry.
no,
Sorry,
no, no.
my
okay.
listen's 20.
So
Yeah, so going back to my 35,
I got an easy one for you.
yeah.
I got a 40.
There you go. So if if Mr. Blackwood were to roll under 40, he'd get a success. If he's going to roll under 20, which is half, he gets a hard success, which is better than a normal success. If he were to roll 5%, which is 8 or under, he would get an extreme success. And then if he rolled a 0-1, actually if anybody rolls a 0-1, it's a critical success. So there are levels of successes that we can get here. Those will come into play later. A couple other things to keep in mind if this does come up in play. You guys all have luck points. You can spend those luck points to modify your roll. So if you were to say have a listen of 40 and you rolled a 42, you could spend 2 luck points to bring it to a 40 and get a success. Let's say you rolled a 21 and you had a listen of 40. You could spend 1 point to get a hard success, and so on. The only thing you can't do that with, I believe, is critical successes. You have to roll a critical. So if you rolled a 2, you can't spend any luck to make it a critical. It's either critical or it's not. So did anyone succeed on their listen?
I got
Yes.
I did not.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bobby and Daulphus, you hear some scuffling in the room, like things are being moved roughly before you knock.
Hey, something's going on in there.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Hey, and I start banging on the door.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything?
I'm going to draw my gun.
Sure.
I am staying in the back. I am a museum curator.
Okay. Well, let me roll some dice then. I guess I should do that. I should find my dice. There they are.
I will pull out my sidearm as well.
Excellent. Did you pull out your whip too?
No, I don't have a whip. Sorry.
Did you pick up any guns?
I don't think so.
Oh, I guess you ain't armed.
I'm a museum curator.
So, yeah, you guys hear some people, you hear breaking of, like a pane of glass, and more, like, quick, rough movements inside.
Oh no, it's got to be a cat burglar. Someone we got to go in.
Okay.
And yeah,
It's got to be a cat bug.
I'm going through that door.
The door is locked.
Okay, I'm not going through the door.
So, would you like to roll a strength check?
I'm rather sturdy. I might be able to barrel through this door, but somebody better cover me.
I've got you covered.
So, do you want to roll a strength check? It is strength.
I mean, Bobby is.
I'm not.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a strength check.
You know what? I'd let you use your size.
You'd let me use my size.
Yeah, but this will be an opposed check, so I will be rolling against you.
Okay, because
So
that
go
door
ahead, yeah.
is sentient.
The
Alrighty.
door is solid. Is
Oh,
what you're looking for. It also is sturdy.
It's not one of those modern hollow doors.
Yeah,
This is
no.
wood.
yeah. This is one of those reinforced numbers.
Dope.
Well, I got. Let's see. You said you'd let me use my size. I got
Yeah.
54 under 70.
So that's a regular success?
Yep.
I got a 96. That is also a regular success, but you rolled lower.
Sure.
The door had a strength of 100.
Oh, glad you let me use my size.
But
'cause-
yeah. But you got a lower number. We both got regular successes. So you hit the
Okay.
door, you hear something splinter, and then it gives away pretty quick.
It's all yours, boys.
I need a spot hidden from everybody except Rumtree.
Oh.
You
I'm just
ju-
going,
I mean,
"Ugh."
honestly, you just barreled your way into the door. You're not going to see a whole lot right this second.
Don't you?
I got a 53.
Did you succeed?
Yes.
Okay. If you succeed on something, except your size,
Yeah.
you do want to
I
mark
got
that
that.
box. So when we get to
Y'all
certain
need
points
pencils?
in this story, I've got them right here on my fancy Transformers pencil box.
That is the best Transformers pencil box ever.
Hand one down to John if he
I
needs
believe the proper terminology in my museology class would have been pencil pouch.
one. Okay.
Huh?
You took museology, even though that's a modern thing that didn't exist in the 1920s.
You know what? Do you know if I was speaking as me or my character? You don't know. This might just be the way I talk now.
No. So who succeeded on that spot?
I did. I got a 53.
No, Daulphus, no.
Nope.
Okay. So you see two robed figures going out the window onto the fire escape,
Oh wow. Okay.
and robed in like a bright red, it's like soiled along the bottom, but they are wearing robes for sure.
What's going on? What's happening, guys?
Two people just went out the window and they had bright red robes on.
Damn burglars! I grabbed my camera out, and I'm going to snap a picture out the window.
Okay. The other thing you see is a body on the bed.
So while Bobby's rushing to the window, then I'm going to call out to everybody else that there's a body on the bed.
I'm going
I
to
can see
go over
that.
to the body.
I'm going to go to the window with Bobby.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking for the actual information. So Jackson Elias is on the bed. It looks as though. Why is this is the part of the adventure that I need to. Nope, not there.
You
I've
said the
gotta find
figures
it.
that went out the window were robed?
Bright red.
Bright red robes. Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
My eyes were still adjusting to the dark.
Yeah. Okay. So on the bed is Jackson Elias. He has some sort of symbol carved into his forehead. His chest has been cut open, and his ribs have been broken and pulled apart, almost like a splitter. So they're kind of sitting up like hands.
So
Oh,
he's been eviscerated.
Yeah, a little bit. There's blood on the bed, on the walls, and on the floor. I need everyone to give me a sanity check.
I don't have to because
You don't.
Right.
This is terrible, but you're okay with it.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah,
war.
same here.
I've seen the worst in the war.
Okay. Do you need to give? You do need to do a sanity check, right?
I
Yeah,
was
did I
also
get
a-
my photo?
Yeah, you got your photo. It's probably be a little blurry, but yeah. Sanity is a thing that we have in this game. Everybody has a score. You're going to be trying to roll under it. Hopefully, you'll roll
I was
under.
also a nurse for a time.
Did the nurse information specifically say that you were immune to
that
these?
I don't know.
Can
I'll
you
go ahead and
grab
roll it.
grab the book, and I'll
Yeah.
look it up while you're rolling.
Keeper or investigator?
Investigator. No,
Oh no.
Gracious.
no, okay.
Sorry for the thumbs, folks. Big books.
I'm
big
not sure
table.
that they can hear him, honestly. These mics are pretty good about not picking stuff up like that. Okay, so I was wrong. I'm going to need the other book.
All right.
I forgot the advanced ones aren't in this. So we are playing
Call of Cthulhu.
with the advanced.
7th edition.
We are playing with the advanced, the more experienced occupations, mostly because it's more fun. I'm almost positive they're in here.
The advanced ones are in that one as well.
This one? Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe I just didn't see them.
Oh, would
Here,
you like me
take
to-
that. Yep.
Again.
Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. You can buy that from Chaosium at chaosium.com.
Or if you're local to the Houston area, your friendly local game store, Space Cadets Gaming, has
Yeah.
it in stock currently, as well as a GM screen.
That's true. It's true. It's a good game.
Shameless product endorsement.
Yeah. Well, I work there. It helps.
So, you find so the body. Did you guys? I'm sorry. Let's back up. Did you guys succeed on your
Oh,
checks?
let me roll it. You said it was a sanity check?
Yes. Normal sanity check.
Oh, I think I did. Not as well as I thought I did, but yeah, I did succeed. 30 under 38.
30 under 38.
Nice.
Give me 2 seconds. There it is. Okay. Not under occupations. Did you add a phobia mania associated with medical experience?
Yeah, I did. And it is arachnophobia, actually.
Yes, you are immune to sanity losses resulting from viewing a corpse or gross injury.
Okay, cool.
Did you deduct 1d10 sanity?
I did.
Okay.
Pretty sure I did. I have a very low sanity.
That's fine. So, just you, Bobby.
Yeah. Hey, I'm cool with this.
And you failed, correct?
Yes, I did.
They
Excellent.
never look this way in the ring when they do the boxing.
Go ahead and roll a d3.
Okay. I got a 3.
So you'll lose 3 sanity. The body is rough.
I've protected Bobby from some of the worst
Yeah.
worst things in my profession.
Anybody
Yeah.
that has skill trained into occult, go ahead and roll occult for me.
I believe that's you, Bobby. Oh, I guess I do too.
I've got,
Hardgrove.
I got a little bit.
Hardgrove, did you pick up any occult?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh,
Okay.
failed.
Ooh,
Okay, so what is it when you roll under half? The
That's a hard success.
hard success. Okay.
So that would be.
I rolled a 99.
Oh,
I rolled a 90.
So that's a bunch of no's.
Yeah, I did. I got it. I got
You did?
success.
Oh, you got a success. You're not familiar with the symbol, but you would have to guess. This is specifically for Bobby. You would have to guess that it's probably a cult, given who he is. Probably a death cult of some sort. It's very fresh, just having been carved within the last 10 minutes or so. Professor, what you know is that is a cult that supposedly doesn't exist, called the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. You've heard of it. You know that they are Kenyan in origin, which is weird since you're in New York City, but they are definitely what most people would consider a death cult.
The bloody tongue.
The Bloody
That
Tongue.
doesn't make any sense.
No.
You say that out loud?
Yes.
So
I'm guessing that's some sort of death cult.
Yeah, one that shouldn't really be here. I don't even really believe it exists.
Well, I'm guessing death cults aren't normally in New York.
Well, death cults are everywhere.
Can I get a listen check from
When
everyone?
they're real.
And this will be a hard one. You have to get at least a hard success. John, listen check.
Okay.
I did not succeed.
I not only succeeded,
You needed a
I
hard success.
actually maybe
Oh, so
even
he-
better than that.
That's going to be an extreme because
Yeah.
you have a 40, so that's going to be under your 8. Did you succeed, Daulphus?
No.
Okay. So you hear the revving of an engine and like a hard stop, like the squeal of tires is a hard stop coming from the broken window.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna.
Do you rush over and look?
I glance out.
You see the 2 men running towards a roadster, a Hudson Touring roadster.
I
Give me a spot hidden check.
and that is a no on that one.
Okay. It's black in color. Looks to be about 10 years old, maybe. Your character is familiar with cars, but not super familiar with them just from this distance to tell. But it's definitely 10 years old or so. They run to the car. Do you alert anyone in the room, I assume?
They're running for a car.
So I'm gonna rush over and look out the window too.
Yeah.
Can I take another picture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, snapping a picture of them.
So you see the 2 men are running for the roadster. Anybody else looking out the window can now give me a spot hidden.
I rolled 3 zeros.
That's a critical fail.
Yep, I didn't see a thing.
Yeah.
I did not see anything either.
I have a normal success on spot hidden.
Okay. You can see the license plate as it starts to as it's kind of like rolling up to where the 2 people are running towards it. The last 2 symbols are L7. There are 4 symbols, you can't make out the other 2. They're off quite a distance. You might be able to get a shot off. If you're a really good shot, you might hit them, but it's a distance.
Give it a try, Bobby. See if you can get a picture of that car.
Oh, he got it.
I
He's
got
got
it.
a car. It's too far away to get the license plate in the picture, but to be able to decipher it. But
Yeah.
you'll be able to get the car.
I'll take a shot at that back glass.
Okay. So you're going to roll with it's not called disadvantage. Basically, you're going to roll. So you have a ones die and a tens die in your percentage. You're going to roll
Okay.
the tens die twice and take whichever's worse.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
Yeah, so he takes the highest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I rolled a 14,
Okay.
and then I need to re-roll.
Just the 10 die.
24.
So 24 would
Does a
be
24 hit? Is under
yes,
your...
actually, my let's see, firearms is a 60, so that's hard success.
That's a hard success, yeah.
nice.
You don't hit the window. You clip one of the two running cultists. Roll your damage for your weapon.
Oh. You happen to know what it is? I don't have it in here. I have
Is
the
it-
damage for the knife, but not the
It's
handgun.
a pistol.
Yeah.
It'll be in the book. Can I have the book again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all right.
I might want to put them over on
Sorry,
this
I
corner.
didn't.
No,
realize
it's
it was
okay.
not there.
It's not a big deal.
So depending on the ammo, like for my Colt 45, it's 1d10 plus 2.
There you go. Just roll 1d10 plus 2. If you have a different gun later, that's not a big deal. We can just, roll with it.
We'll fix it in post.
No, we
6.
won't. 6 damage. He takes the hit and kind of drops. They were already running pretty fast. The other cultist makes it to the car, gets in, and the car speeds off as the guy kind of lays there on the ground bleeding.
Okay. I am not going to jump out the window.
There is a fire escape right there. Like,
Okay.
this is the window to the fire
Okay.
escape.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to go down the window or down the fire escape. Before I do that, I'm going to tell Bobby, look, I know it's really disturbing, but we definitely need pictures of Jackson. We need evidence of the symbol on his head. And if you can, a picture of his chest and the damage there.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to hop out the window and go down the fire escape to see if I can capture the red robe dude on the ground.
Go for it. No, I got it.
I am also drawing a sketch of the runic symbol carved
Okay.
into his body. You said it's on his forehead.
It's on his forehead. So, is anyone else going down the fire escape with Aaron?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go
a
with
museum
Lockhart.
curator.
Ms. Rumtree, will you be okay up here with
I
Bobby?
will be fine up here where there's no combat.
Okay, so the two of you go down. I need dexterity. I just need to know your dexterity numbers.
Dexterity is 80.
80. And for you...
60.
Okay. And then... Sorry, I just have... There it is. And then I have to multiply by 5. Okay. All right, so you guys are going down. You get to the bottom of the fire escape, pull the ladder, and it drops. The guy is starting to get up. He is bleeding pretty bad and is holding his shoulder where he got hit. But he seems to have some sort of club in his hand too.
Okay.
So in combat, we're always going to declare,
Right.
and then we'll go through the round. So you will declare in order, and then we'll go through the round in order. Aaron, what are you going to do?
I am going to shoot him.
Okay. And Daulphus, what are you going to do?
I guess I'll shoot him as well.
Oh, excellent. All right. So Aaron, go ahead.
20.
Oh, is that a regular success?
Yeah.
Or-
No, that is handgun. That is under 30, so that's a hard or a good. It's under 30.
Okay. It's a hard success, and he also got a hard success. What was your number?
30. Or 20. 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you do hit because he didn't dodge well enough.
Okay. So that is 5 points damage.
5 points. He drops. He's dead.
Well, that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to.
So, just as a note for our players and for our listeners, our watchers at home, damage is rough. Rough.
It's okay. I don't feel bad. He
You can
killed my friend.
You
and-
can sneeze, break a rib, and die. To just let you know. So, you have a dead cultist there, kind of on the ground. Are one of you going to go through his pockets and check him, or at least move
Absolutely.
the? Okay.
Yeah.
So Daulphus, roll, or actually both of you roll a cult for me.
I rolled a 15, which is a normal success.
Normal success for me too.
Okay, so there is a the club he has. You're not quite sure what it's called, but it is definitely a some sort of ritualistic club that would probably be tied to the cult. You do see the symbol of the cult carved into the side of it. Further, he is wearing some sort of headdress. It's I'm trying to there. Nope. I'm going to read the rest of this, and it doesn't say. It's a hideous headpiece with dangling red stripes protruding from the forehead. So it almost looks like, sort of like blood dripping down his face, but they're loose and they kind of move around. It's almost like a veil, sort of. Like a serious, weird murder veil. Yeah.
Like wagging bloody tongues.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. On him,
Absolutely.
you also find some papers hastily stuffed in one of his pockets. I need one of you, whichever one you want, to roll luck.
Oh yeah, you and I are up here, aren't we, Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can discuss your luck scores. I have no problem with that.
So my luck is 83.
And it's whatever your current luck is.
Yeah.
So
mine's 83.
yours is 83. What's yours, Daulphus?
I'm looking for it. I'm not sure where it's at.
It's on the right underneath the Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. It is 80.
Okay, so
Either one.
your call.
You want to roll for it?
Sure.
All right.
Now,
What am I rolling? Trying to roll under that?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What am I doing? Trying to roll under that?
You want to
number?
roll under it, yeah.
Same kind of roll. Oh, well, 15. Yeah, that's under.
Oh, yeah. So what you find on him are 3 items, or 3 pieces of paper. One is a letter from Marion Atwright of Harvard University. One is a photograph that shows, it's blurry and grainy, and it shows a yacht at anchor surrounded by Chinese junks. Only part of the name of the yacht is visible. The first 3 letters of that yacht are DAR, D-A-R. And the last is a business card for Emerson Imports. It's got address and everything on it. And on the back of it is written Silas Inquane, N''Kwane. And that is in, Elias's handwriting. That is his handwriting for sure.
What was the first name? Miriam what?
Miriam Atwright.
Atwright.
Mm-hmm.
At Harvard, right?
Yes. That's specifically Harvard Library. And I can read those to you in a second.
No,
We'll look at those. How about Bobby and Ms. Rumtree? Jewell. I'm going to start calling you Jewell. I'm not going to call you
Appreciate
Ms.
it.
Rumtree while everybody else gets a first name.
That's fine.
So
If you would like to be impolite, that is completely up to
hey,
you.
look at that. You got it.
I showed it
Oh,
to
okay.
them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what I need you two to do is roll spot hidden for me.
I'm pretty sure that I have failed spectacularly on that as
That
well.
is 1. That's a normal success.
Oh, you rolled a 1?
No, I got
No, that's fine.
the way I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This isn't Shadowrun.
Multi-successful
Yeah, no.
Shadowrun, yeah.
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 Did you also succeed?
I did not.
Okay. So you find some other things scattered around the room. You find a business card for the Pinhue Foundation. That's number 12 if you want to throw it up there.
Mm-hmm.
For Edward Gavigan, director. You found a matchbook for the Stumbling Tiger bar. It says Shanghai Fun and Friends, 10 Lantern Street. Yeah, that actually folds into one. Not that our listeners at home can see it.
Sure.
You do find a letter from someone named Faraz Najir. We can read that here in a minute. A handbill for the Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and South Pacific, which is a 2-hour lecture delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles. Looks like it's from Australia. And then, did I miss one? I don't think I did. That's 11. Yep, that's all of them.
There's a whole lot going on here. And I'm going to be also snapping pictures of the wound on his forehead.
Yeah, I assume you get several
Yeah.
pictures of the layout, and roll your photography for me.
Okay.
See how good these are. Yeah, that one's a good one. Flip to. Can you throw up? I'm sorry.
I did not wish to throw up at the moment. I've got the Cult of Darkness up currently.
Can you toss up number 11?
Oh,
I know if
that
you don't
does
have it
work.
built, that's fine.
Do what?
that.
well, I
does
had it
work.
in
So
the. Is
that's
number
nice.
11 the telegram? Or the
no,
letter?
The letter, yeah.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, put that one up there.
Okay.
Quit saying throw.
That's I'm
Blech.
sorry, I'm just messing with you. There. And
I'm going to
there it is
spend.
for our people here.
That is not number 11. That's 14 or 16.
Oh,
Yeah.
give me a second. Sorry, folks.
They're
Oh.
not in actual order in the book. That might be part of what's throwing you off.
Well, I saved them as they should have been, but I may not have it ready anymore. I had up through. Is that one?
That's it.
There we
Perfect.
go. Apologies.
So, this is what you find, and Miss Rumtree, or Jewell, you also see this. It's dated January 3rd, 1919, so this is years ago. From Cairo, Egypt. It says, Mr. Carlyle, I am informed that you seek certain knowledge of our land and can perhaps aid you in this. In my possession are singular curios, which I most happily believe of interest. These I willingly send for your consideration, if a price can be agreed upon. Naturally, they are ancient and must command a goodly sum. I will arrange matters to your satisfaction when your agent calls at my shop in the Street of Jackals in the Old Quarter. Until then, I remain your most humble servant, Faraz Najir. Well, let's go to
To Egypt.
12. Just toss 12 up there real quick so that the listeners can see it. Yeah, that's the Penhew Foundation card for Edward Gavigan. 13, if you can put that up there. That is the match box for the Stumbling Tiger Bar. It does have a couple of matches in it.
Is there an address on it?
10 Lantern Street.
10 Lantern Street.
Shanghai Fun and Friends. 14 is just a description of the photo.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Those aren't in here.
That one's the blur. That one's actually down with them. So 15, 16, 17. Now you can put 17 up the handbill.
Is that this one?
No, the handbill for tonight only. Cult of Darkness.
Oh, my apologies.
No, you're good. I'm throwing this at you in weird order.
Super fast. Well, it's okay. I'm just trying to figure out. I guess I don't have that one.
You
Give
just
me a
did.
second.
Oh, maybe you didn't
I
have
had
it.
it on the other one.
Okay.
Just give me a second, folks. I'll have
That's
it
cool.
up there for you.
It's cool. So it says, tonight only, the Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and the South Pacific. A 2-hour lecture with slides delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles, Ph.D., at the University of Sydney, Australia, and presently Loxley Fellow of Polynesian Esoterica at Miskatonic University. This is in Schuler Hall, NYU, at 8 p.m. Tonight only. Does not have a date on it.
Okay, so the Cult of Darkness lecture, was it going to be at NYU?
Yes, at 8 p.m. on whatever day that was.
But there's no date.
There's no date.
But it was Anthony Cowles?
Dr. Anthony Cowles. Cowless. He has 0 cows.
No cows for Anthony Cowles.
All right.
And then, yeah, so that's the pieces you find in the room.
Okay.
Among other things, you do find Jackson Elias's wallet has been opened and emptied of any cash and is laying on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so like there's whatever cash he had is gone.
Is there anything else in the wallet of note? Just an ID or whatever?
Oh yeah, he has his ID in it. Everything else that should be in there is in there, but the cash is gone. So his Amex is still no.
Well, not like business cards.
Yeah, he's still got his business cards. He's got like a couple of phone numbers written down for people but nobody of note that makes any sense. And then, yeah, that's about it. So, the two guys on the ground that
One guy.
Well, he got down, or Daulphus, you came down too, right?
Yeah, the two of us. Right. Okay.
Okay. So what are you two doing?
So we've looked through his pockets, and the papers that the guy had. Can we tell, were they his, or did they look like they were hastily stuffed in? Like they
they were
the
hastily stuffed.
Okay, so most likely from the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially given that one of them is addressed to Mr. Jackson Elias.
Right.
So.
So I'm going to put my gun up before too much notice happens.
Yeah, you've gone over the body a little bit. He has no other identifications, no other nothing. You do start to hear the police sirens off in the distance.
So, okay, we got police coming. I might be able to... I've got a pretty good working relationship with the cops in these areas.
Sure.
So we might be able to talk our way out of this.
That's possible.
Once we show them what's up in the room, I think there's not going to be a doubt that we're innocent.
Yeah.
And that this happened trying to stop what happened. Let's just not be so obvious that we've got guns right now.
Are you guys going back upstairs, or are you waiting down here?
I'm going to head back upstairs because when the cops get up there, I want us out in the hallway so we don't look like we're in the middle of doing what we did or what happened.
All right.
But I'm going to go in through the door of the hotel and walk up normal. I don't want to be seen going up the fire escape.
Also the drop-down fire escape went back up
right,
automatically.
True. That's true.
So.
Well, being from Texas, I'm not too used to the drop-down fire escapes of New York. Good point.
No, you just have roads that tell you how deep the water is. Did not care for that. That's not terrifying. You guys go back up. Daulphus, are you going back up with him, or are you sticking down with the body?
No, I'll go back upstairs.
Okay. So you guys have a couple of minutes. Do you share the information, look over what you've got?
I'm going to call Bobby and Ms. Rumtree out of the room. Guys, cops are coming. I think we need to be out of the room when they get here.
Oh, okay. I tuck away my notebook in my satchel.
Did you get all the pictures, Bobby?
I got lots of pictures. Let me. I'm going to set down the pieces of information that we found, and take pictures of those as well.
Nice.
Good idea.
Just in
these
case they need to
papers
get
and stuff
handed
that we
over
found,
to
too, if
the
you could get
cops.
Yeah. We found some papers too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get pictures of all that.
Can you throw 15 up?
What?
It's the business card for Emerson Imports. Nope, that's
I
fine.
just took it out.
So can you throw up 16, which is the telegraph?
That one?
Yes.
I can indeed.
So the business card is Emerson Imports, gives an address at West 47th Street in New York, and a telephone number, which is HA 63900, because it's still, old-timey phone stuff.
It's the 20s.
Contact 47.
Yeah. And on the back it says Silas and Quain. The telegraph is dated November 7th, 1924. So 4 months ago, give or take, 3 months ago. Jackson Elias, Mr. Jackson Elias, care of Prospero House Publishers, Lexington Avenue, New York City. Dear Mr. Elias, the book about which you inquired is no longer in our collection. The information you seek may be found here in other volumes. If you will contact me upon your arrival, I will be most happy to further assist you. As always, Miriam Atwright, Harvard University Library. Daulphus, you actually have spoken with Miss Atwright before. She's good at what she does. That's what you remember, because you've actually been down to Harvard a couple of times, and she's really, really good librarian.
Yeah, we'll need to follow up on that one.
Yeah. So that's what you got. You get all the pictures you need of
then,
everything that's there.
And then while we're waiting for the cops, we exchange the information of everything that we've...
Just like itching your eye through your glasses.
I'm in the costume. I don't
No,
know
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So the cops arrive, and actually this is going to be a great place for us to take a break for, I'd say, 20 minutes or so. If you want to throw up the base cover. We'll be back at 8:35. we're gonna stretch our legs and stuff some food in ourselves. So we will be right back, guys.
All right, we're back.
Oh, hey! I guess we're back.
You said you wanted to be back. I brought you back.
So the police pull up a couple of cruisers, and by cruisers I mean like those old-timey like police cars. And
those old-timey like police cars.
two of the officers go over towards the body, and the other two look up kind of at, or yeah, you guys can't see any of this. Two officers come inside. How about that?
There we go.
They come out of the stairwell and walk down towards you folks. Who is speaking to them?
I'll speak to him because I've got the working reputation with the police officers.
Sure.
I'm going to walk up, shake hands, introduce myself.
Yeah, it's Officer, I'm really bad with names, Johnson and Smith. I'm going to write down some names for next time, guys.
Officer Thompson and Parks.
Sure, Thompson and Parks, yeah. Go right ahead. So
Officers, my name is Aaron Lockhart. I'm a private investigator.
you have
Show
your
'em-
license. Yep.
Show them the credentials.
One of them takes it and like notes down some stuff, yeah.
And so we were here to meet a friend of mine, and when we got up to the room, we heard scuffling and windows breaking, and when we went in, we found my friend murdered on the bed.
Okay. Officer Parks says, I'm going to go ahead and go inside. Officer Thompson's going to stay here with you. Officer Parks goes in and immediately comes, what now?
I was going to say, you better steal yourself, officer.
Yeah, he comes right back out and says, all right, why don't the four of you go on downstairs? There's two other officers down there. Yeah.
Did you find the guy in the ground outside?
I've got two other officers out there. Officer Thompson will stay up here with the room. Don't go inside. And I'm going to need to use the house phone. And so they go down. He goes down with you. He doesn't seem to be upset with you, but he does not seem as calm as he was when he first greeted you.
Understandable, considering what is in that room.
He goes over to the house phone, makes a call. It's starts off relatively quick-paced from him, and then he starts yelling about how he needs officers down here now, and they don't need to wait any longer than they already have. And it's a good 20 minutes, and the place is kind of crawling with police.
And we're in the lobby or outside?
Yeah, that you're in the lobby. There's a small lobby. There's not even places to sit. Officer Parks comes back up over and says, "Why don't we grab a seat out here on the curb?"
While all the police are coming and everything else, I'm winding my film,
Sure.
and I'll be pocketing that one
Okay.
and putting in a fresh roll.
Sure.
So
sure.
I'm assuming we're keeping it secret that we have all the photography, or all the pictures, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm also making sure that,
If they take your camera or anything, yeah.
Good idea.
So you he has you sit down outside, and he says, "So, Mr. Lockhart, why don't you step over here with me, and we'll talk about what happened."
All right.
And there are other officers around. No one is directly interacting with the three of you, but they are clearly keeping an eye on you.
Right.
There is now a sheet over the body, kind of in the alleyway where he was shot, and there is at least some sort of what looks like a medical examiner over there as well.
I'm gonna go with the officer. You guys wait here.
Yeah.
Calm?
Go. Yeah.
All right.
Tell me what happened. The full story. Everything you can think of.
Well, so Jackson, friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
I've done work for him in the past. Sent me a telegram asking us to meet him here tonight.
Okay.
That he had a investigation that he wanted us to start looking into. As to what that investigation is, I'm not fully aware because he was dead by the time we got into that room.
And Mr. Elias is the gentleman upstairs.
Correct, Jackson Elias.
Okay. He is writing notes as you speak to him.
Like I said, the four of us got up to the room, and my associate Bobby heard glass breaking, and we forced our way into the room. And when we did, we saw 2 figures going out the window down the fire escape. They had red robes on, and we found my friend Jackson on the bed, eviscerated.
Okay. Did you disturb the crime scene at all?
No, sir.
Do you want to roll?
Fast talk?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I rolled a 17. Fast talking. That is below 37, so...
Okay, that's below... No, it's not. Yeah, that's a hard success. That's
hard
below
success,
below your
correct.
app. Don't forget we should be marking boxes when we succeed on things.
Yep.
May I have a pencil?
Yes, you can get one out of this fantastic bag.
One-of-a-kind Transformer
1985.
It probably is a one-of-a-kind now.
writing apparatus container.
That's right. Pencil pouch.
Yes, perfect.
Oh, wait, I haven't succeeded on anything except for being big.
This
so
is the
no.
5th member of our party. So didn't disturb anything in the room.
No, sir.
Then what happened from there?
So when we were looking at the body, we heard a car screech up, stop outside, and we saw the 2 assailants jump, trying to go towards the car, and that's when we tried to stop them.
You want to be more descriptive with how you tried to stop them?
Let's just say we,
No, I
at
do
the
not.
distance we were at, we weren't exactly throwing rocks at them.
Are you the man that shot him
Yes,
twice?
perhaps.
Are you thinking about this? Like, are you in character thinking
Yeah.
about that? Okay.
Perhaps.
I'm going to have to ask that you hand over your firearm
For how long?
until we can get ballistics and clear the crime scene and probably clear the case.
All right, I'm going to reach into my jacket.
Sure. Are you going to pull out the actual gun?
I'm going to pull out the
Okay.
actual gun.
Okay.
Am I there with him when he's talking to him, or somewhere
No,
else?
you are off. You're sitting on the curb, probably 15 feet away.
So they can see me handing over the gun?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so maybe you can try and hide yours while you're watching this happen. So I hand my gun to the police officer.
Daulphus can roll an intelligence check. See if he comes up with that idea.
Well, I have more than one firearm, so I will. I'm going to give them the one I shot him with because if he's going to check ballistics, I want it to get cleared.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want them to be looking for the second shooter.
Okay.
Sure.
I am going to want that gun back. That was my sidearm in the war. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me.
And
So
I served too. I understand.
Okay.
He takes the clip out in the magazine.
clip.
Yes. And empties the chamber because you still had one in the chamber. And pushes that into the clip.
Okay.
And says, "We'll take care of this. You are the only person that's fired this weapon tonight."
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So at that point, I guess I'd walk up over there to him.
Sir, I will speak with you in a moment. Please have a seat.
Sir, I see you were taking his weapon. I fired at the man as well. I figured you'd want mine too.
Okay. He motions over for one of the other officers to come over. They put him in bags, but they're not like fancy nowadays bags. They're like big paper bags.
From the Piggly Wiggly.
Sack
Yeah,
lunch.
yes, from the Piggly Wiggly.
He empties his sack lunch
Yeah,
and
yeah.
puts it in there.
He does the same thing with yours, Daulphus. He takes the clip out, takes one out of the chamber. Says, "Okay, go ahead and go back over and have a seat." Daulphus, or sir. And he motions for Daulphus to go back over to the curb.
Roger.
Okay, so you shot the man.
Yes, sir.
He was shot a second time.
That would have been the second shot. Would have been mine.
So the other gentleman shot him the first time.
Correct.
Okay.
When we got down to the street,
It would be helpful if you could remember these details a little more clearly.
yes, sir.
Okay. So you got down to the street.
Yeah, and we were approaching him to capture him because we wanted to find out what was going on.
And instead
To
you
help
shot
your-
him dead.
Well, he turned on us and raised his weapon.
Okay. I mean, that was a gnarly looking stick. I understand.
You saw his robe and the weird headdress and all this stuff.
I might have done the same.
So, I tried to wing him. Unfortunately, I was a little too accurate.
Did you disturb the body after he was shot?
Just to check it to see if he was still alive.
Oh, you're going to have to roll another fast talk. Or bluff if you have bluff.
Nope, fast talk. 21.
Okay, that's still success?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And then from there, what did you do?
We went back. I heard the sirens coming. We went back up to the room to check on our associates and to make sure that they weren't in the room disturbing anything.
Okay. And that's where we found you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He says, okay, so this officer here is going to take you over and have you work through a formal statement of everything. You're going to go over every detail.
Yeah. Can do.
That detective will make sure that's all taken care of.
Be my
Basically,
pleasure.
you know that he's keeping you separated from the rest of the people. And he motions to Bobby. Says, son, why don't you come on over here?
Yeah, sure.
You're like 21, aren't you?
Yeah, early 20s.
Okay. And your name, sir?
I am Robert Blackwood.
And your father's name?
I give it off. I don't have it written down with me right this moment.
Mr. Blackwood.
Mr. Blackwood.
Mr. Blackwood.
Of the Harlem Blackwoods, right?
Well, that's me, but my father has an estate in North Carolina.
I see. Why don't we get you a cup of coffee?
Oh, that'd be great. No, appreciate it.
Maybe, are you hungry?
Oh, yeah, no, we had some food coming over.
There's a diner around the corner.
No,
that's gonna get some good pie.
Now, pie actually sounds pretty good, though.
He motions over. A couple of younger officers come over. He says to take Mr. Blackwood here over to get a piece of pie and anything else that he would like. And they walk off like a block and a half down the street to a diner and take you inside. They don't seem to be all that chatty.
Yeah.
But they're happy to have you away from the scene. Officer Parks looks over. Daulphus, you're wearing like full on professor gear, like tweed jacket.
Pretty much what I'm wearing right here.
Okay. He motions for Daulphus for you to join him.
Okay.
And your name, sir?
Professor Charles Daulphus Hardgrove.
I see. And you are from here in New York?
Originally, but I work at Miskatonic University in Arkham.
Oh, up Boston way. Okay. What brought you down to New York this fine evening?
Well, an associate of mine sent a telegram asking for some help with a situation. Had some matters he wanted looking into and thought my expertise could help.
Excellent. He walks you through the what happened. You guys broke in. He asks you, did you just once you were in the room, did you disturb the crime scene?
No more than going to check on my associate to see if he was alive.
Okay. And then he walks through that you shot the other guy and got down. Once the victim was dead, did you disturb the body at all?
No.
Okay. Can you roll bluff or
Fast talk.
Well, it doesn't have to be fast talk. There are other charisma skills. Charm would be good. You can hit on the dude. I don't have a problem with that.
And just to refresh my memory, Lockhart's the one who pulled the papers off the guy, right?
Yes.
No, you rolled the luck. You pulled the papers off the guy.
Oh, I did. I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me revise what I would say now that I remember what happened.
Now that it's
Well, I
clear.
did give the guy the once over to make sure he didn't have any more weapons on him.
Okay.
He had this stick.
Yeah,
Which,
I saw that.
I happened to notice the symbol carved on that stick matches the one carved in our friend's forehead. So,
I'm sure that it is. I don't remember seeing your friend's forehead, so I will trust your evaluation of that.
it's pretty gruesome, my friend.
So you just checked to make sure he didn't have any other weapons. Did nothing else.
I tried to see if he had any identification on him, to see who we were dealing with, but I did not find any identification.
Okay. And then he walks you through the rest of it. He says, okay, well, this detective over here brings another detective over. And they'll be happy to take a formal written statement if you'll go with them. And then he comes over to Jewell, and he kind of sits down next to you. And he says, "Miss."
It's Ms.
Ms. I'm Detective Parks.
Nice to meet you.
Do you understand what has happened here this evening?
I understand that there is a very gruesome scene upstairs. Yes.
Your name?
I am Jewell Rumtree from Miskatonic University. I curate their museum items.
Where are you from originally?
Savannah, Georgia.
Okay. What brought you here this evening?
I was accompanying Professor Hardgrove. We've done some work together on some of the items that have come into the university. I don't tend to go on the digs, but I know a lot about a lot of different things regarding archaeology and just general history. And I assume his friend indicated that perhaps someone of my expertise would be useful.
Okay. He takes you through. You guys went upstairs, heard something, broke in. Once you were inside the room, did you disturb the crime scene at all?
I did not. I spent my time. I was actually quite interested in the symbol that was carved into the man's forehead.
Do you often see dead bodies and become interested?
I was a nurse for a time, but
Okay.
ritualistic carvings and things like that tend to fall into some items that maybe we have found and that I've worked with before. So I thought I would take note of it in case it proved to be important later.
Okay. And then you stayed in the room when your two friends left?
Yes, I stayed with Mr. Blackwood.
Okay. And nothing else. You didn't remove anything else from the scene?
I did not.
Okay. Good. Okay. This detective and another detective comes over. We'll take your full statement.
Okay.
And make sure that everything is official.
Yeah, whatever I can do to help.
Absolutely. You guys are kind of passed between people for a little while, except Mr. Blackwood. You have a nice piece of pie. They encourage you to try some ice cream. This place supposedly has some good ice cream. They encourage you to take your time. It's probably been an hour and a half. And finally, Mr. Blackwood, you realize that, you've been here a little while, and they haven't really asked any questions.
I start talking about boxing and photography, and I mentioned, I actually have a friend. He's doing a big show downtown. I can get you in if y'all would ever like to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Officer Parks sticks his head in the diner, and he kind of motions for the two other officers. They say, "Oh, you know what? Why don't you go with Officer Parks? We'll take care of the bill."
Absolutely, gentlemen. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You step outside with Officer Parks, and he says, I can call a car if you would like to go home. Your friends are not at this point under arrest. Did you want to speak with a lawyer?
Oh, no. My family's lawyer can handle anything for me if it's needed.
Would you like to give any statements this evening?
It's too bad this kind of stuff happens. It's not good. It's like a press statement. I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's not good.
So,
It's not good.
I'm going to release your friends. I'd ask that you make sure that they stay here in town until we can clear all this matter up. If you wouldn't mind encouraging them to do that.
Yeah, no problem. So they need to stay in New York.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess I can find some place for a couple of them. I mean, they're from out of town, but just reach out to me.
We're gonna do our best to wrap this up as quickly as possible. It sounds as though this was maybe a little quick on the trigger from Mr. Lockhart, but also if a man with a weird mask raises a stick at me, I might shoot him too.
Yeah,
so.
Quite frankly, if any of us saw what was up in that room, I think
Yeah,
we'd be quick to act as well.
Yeah, so I don't blame you for. I don't think anything bad is going to come out of this, but at least for the next couple of days, I definitely need you to stay in town.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I give a business card. This is where I'm staying. That's the phone number for the front desk. They'll know if I'm not there where I'm at.
Okay, thank you very much. If you need anything, call the 86th precinct. I don't know which precinct it is. Ask for Officer Parks, and I'll be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you, Officer Parks.
And so, like, the three of them are kind of converged all at once to you. And he says, he turns to the other three of you and says, at this point in time, we're not going to be holding you in custody. we may have some other questions, and would prefer that all of you stay in town for at least the next few days. I will be contacting Mr. Blackwood when the time is right for you to be released from that requirement.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are kind of left on the street. I assume you drove to this point, so like your car's still there, no big deal.
Oh yeah.
What are you guys doing?
So, Bobby, you were gone for a while. What did the officers ask you?
You know, yeah, we got talking about boxing and a few other things.
So they didn't ask you anything about what happened?
You talk about living in the shadow. There's times when being under the shadow is a little nice.
Guess family connections help.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, but hey, let's get y'all some. You're gonna definitely need some digs and some places to stay. And tomorrow morning, if we need to pick up some changes of clothes for any of us, that I mean, I know it's being from out of town. I don't know how much y'all brought with you, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah, it is close to 10 o'clock. Not that it's super late for anybody, but you did see a dead body. Even if you didn't lose sanity to it, it's been a rough night.
Bobby, before you head back home, why don't we go back to the office and you can start developing those pictures so we can start studying them a little more.
Definitely.
I mean, I know I'm not going to get any sleep tonight.
I don't know about sleep, but yeah, no, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Are you all going back to the office?
You guys are welcome to come with us if you want, or you can go freshen up in your room and I can give you directions to my investigation office.
Besides, I mean, there's plenty to talk about, especially now. I mean, look, let's just get in the car and get out of here really quick. I don't like standing out here.
That's fine.
Yeah, the cops are already suspicious.
You did shoot a guy twice.
It was a
Both
creepy
of
cult
you
guy. I only shot once.
It's fair. So you guys head back to, what is it, Lockhart Investigations?
Yep, Lockhart Investigations.
Where about in New York City is this?
It is Lower East Side.
Nice.
So, it's kind of where I grew up, and that's where I started my office up.
Okay. So you guys pull up, go inside. You're like on the third or fourth floor of some random office building.
Fourth floor walk up.
Sure.
Yep, into the hall.
Okay. So Bobby, you're going to start developing the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me another photography check?
Yeah. Terrified.
Did you take a lot of photography?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No,
you just
but
rolled really
still-
bad the first time.
Yeah.
That's not a good
Oh,
face.
no.
What'd you roll?
That's not a good face.
What'd you roll?
95?
Oh.
Okay. Not a big deal. You develop the pictures without much of a problem. The car does not come out well. I mean, you were at a distance. Not much you could really do there. A couple of the pictures are pretty blurry, but the cultists were moving pretty quick when you took that one. And there are a couple others where maybe the stress of the situation got to you a little more than you want to admit.
The shots of the cult symbol on the forehead, do we get a clear one
Yes,
of that?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. You also, you have that clearly.
And I have my sketchbook also.
Yeah.
A sketch of it.
Okay.
So you guys are going to go over the... Are you going to go over the information you got or do anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we might as well lay out the
Clues?
Well, we didn't keep everything, but if
Yeah, you
we've
did.
Did we keep everything?
Yeah.
Nobody handed over anything. They didn't
I
even
didn't
claim.
We fast talked our
No,
way out of it.
Oh, okay. So I thought you guys just shoved it back in pockets.
No,
and
I was
stuff.
prepared to give over everything if they asked me for it, but they didn't ask me for it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they were just kind of taking care of you, so you didn't have to be there anymore.
Yeah, well, like I found a new place with good pie.
Yeah, something came out of the evening then.
Priorities.
Pie does sound nice.
Um,
They didn't offer the lady any pie.
Well, that's because you don't have the influence and power that his family does.
So to find any more information out about the Bloody Tongue, the Cult of the Bloody Tongue, that's going to be some like actual library work. However, could I get Hardgrove and Rumtree to roll archaeology or history, either one? Anthropology, if you have it, I'd take that too.
Anthropology, I have a 1.
Yeah.
I got a an extreme success. Is that what it's called?
I just got a regular success.
Okay. What was
I
yours?
almost got a crit.
What kind was yours?
It's the same for both. So we'll say, what one did you roll for, David? Archaeology or history?
Archaeology.
And I'll do history.
Okay. So the Penhew Foundation is a large historical artifact house. They do a lot of, they sponsor a lot of digs. They do fundraising for digs and for other expeditions. But they also take in all of the items and then disperse them out to museums through sales. So a lot of stuff that you'll find in like the Natural History Museum in DC or in New York, some of them may have come through the Penhew Foundation. Sir Aubrey Penhew has been running it for years. His father ran it before him. It is a long-standing organization. Daulphus, your understanding is that they're like gentlemen. They were at one point gentlemen adventurers, and it kind of just turned into they had a lot of money from doing that, so they kept funding other people to do it.
Okay.
Sir Aubrey Penhew has been gone for 5-6 years now. He was a gentleman of note, and he's kind of where he is now.
So everything with them is on the up and up, though, and there's nothing.
To the best of your knowledge, to the best of their knowledge.
Okay.
You guys never heard about heard of the Stumbling Tiger Bar, but I don't think any of you have been to Shanghai, so not all that surprising.
I have not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that I think we can.
Oh, I'm gonna go through the rest of the clues here. Sorry.
So sorry.
Daulphus, you are familiar with the Street of Jackals in the Old Quarter, as in you know where it's at, and you would not go there unless your life depended on it. The
Okay.
old city or the old quarter can get pretty rough because it's old and all the buildings are literally on top of each other. Their idea of a wide street is a chariot could go down it once upon a time, and then people have since then put out like awnings and stuff. So there's like maybe 2 or 3 people wide can walk by, but that's about it. It's very tight quarters, and it's old Cairo. So the Street of Jackals is in the old quarter. The Street of Jackals itself is not the nicest area. Were you looking for the... Okay. You are not familiar with Faraz Najir, but the way that it's written makes it sound like the expedition called for an assistance in Cairo. This is something you've done before. It's not uncommon, especially with this kind of work. You are familiar with Professor Anthony Cowles. You've not met him, or you have met him. He was a Locksley Fellow at the Polynesian Esoterica at Miskatonic. He was just leaving as you were coming in when you got back from your expedition. So that handbill is from the last year or so. You're not quite sure when because there's no date on it. But he didn't go straight back to Australia. He did a little bit of touring first and then went back. You know he's probably in Sydney now, at the University of Sydney. What else we got? We talked about Miriam Atwright. Nothing there. Emerson Imports is vague enough that none of you are quite sure what it could be. None of you have dealt with it before, so who knows? So that kind of covers the base information on all of this here.
The yacht at anchor. There's nothing more that we can tell from that picture other than it's
let me
probably in Shanghai.
Check. It's definitely in China somewhere, or potentially Hong Kong, which is not technically China in it right now.
Correct. Okay. That would be.
And
British
actually,
rule.
most of China is not China right now. It's divided up weirdly by Europeans.
Yep. Okay.
It looks like it is either a large steam or diesel powered yacht. That's kind of... Yeah, that's really the only thing. You might be able to pull some information if you went to a library and maybe looked up pictures of areas and see if you could match the background of it. It'd be a little rough because it is blurry and grainy, so who knows?
And honestly, there wasn't enough to go by on the boat anyway. We just had the first 3 letters.
Yeah.
DAR.
DAR. And then just making sure I didn't miss anything. Any other questions that you guys have? Anything? Or have for any of this?
Not so
Well,
much
this is-
questions.
Quite a plot. I am not making a whole lot of sense of any of it.
Well, I think we have some leads that we can start on. I mean, at the very least, Daulphus, you could probably contact Miriam Atwright and see what book she was referring to. Maybe that'll give us a clue on what's going on.
That'd be a good place to start.
Yeah. And I really feel like we probably need to be moving pretty quick tomorrow. Now the officer said that we have to stay in New York, at least until this case is taken care of. So y'all are either here or I can put you up at my place. I definitely have room.
I mean, we
Not a
can
problem.
crash here. I mean, this is where I spend most of my nights is here.
Yeah, I understand.
Pull a couple of cots out. Give the room to Miss Rumtree.
I mean, I doubt
Your
they've
hospitality does not go unnoticed, good sir.
I doubt they've figured out too much of who we are yet.
Now, did they say the city or just the state?
I'm guessing the city.
Well, if they didn't say, we may be able to bend that rule a little bit.
Well, either way, we got your friend, Miss Atwright, Altwright,
Right.
Atwright, and then there's another person that I start pulling out all my papers. This Anthony Cowles. Now, both these people are at New York University. Did I pick that up right? Is that what y'all said about
No.
Miriam?
Cowles
Outright is
used to
a-
be at Miskatonic.
Where's he at now?
He's
I thought that he was doing a lecture for this Cults of Darkness at New York University.
Do you share the information I told you about Cowles?
He said he
about
was
where
at
he's at.
Sydney now.
Oh, I thought the
David.
flyer said.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Okay.
It
So
did,
he
but we don't know when that was.
Yeah, so he, in the last year or so, left Miskatonic, left his fellowship, and went back to Sydney, but in the meantime went on a small speaking tour about the Cult of Darkness.
Okay, so why don't we... I'm assuming
So
we could
he would
send
be
a
in Sydney. You can send a telegraph.
Yeah, why don't we sell a telegraph and
Because
see
the
if-
handbill is not recent.
Within the last year? Ish.
Within the last year,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
we were
not
just
too
saying,
bad.
I mean...
I think we should send a telegram off and see if he talked to Jackson at all.
And
Yeah.
Miriam Atwright is she is a librarian over at the Harvard
Oh, okay.
Library. She's
I
not in
misunderstood.
town.
I thought both were at
No,
New York.
she's up in Boston.
Well, we can at least call her.
Yeah,
We
can
don't have to
reach
worry
out
about
to
sending a
Miriam
telegram.
But,
I believe we've met at a few conferences.
we could at least find somebody who maybe went to his lecture here.
We could try. We just don't know when it was.
Yeah, but
It doesn't have a date on it.
No, but I don't think it would have been that long ago.
Oh, we probably
We
could.
could talk to somebody at New York University and
Yeah, they probably have records of it there. And then the Penhue Foundation, they were local in New York?
No, London.
London. Oh.
Again, you could
me send a telegram.
And remember, Sir Aubrey Penhue was part of the Carlisle expedition.
so he is among the
Yeah.
he is among the missing.
So Edward Gavigan is
Deceased?
the director now, so he's probably running it in Aubrey's absence.
Okay.
A lot of something going on with imports and exports, though.
It's the artifact business.
Yeah.
Got to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson was probably trying to find a way to get a hold of something, or
America's a fairly young nation. We don't have.
Yeah, but I'm just. I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious.
discounting the
but-
native.
Sure, but unfortunately, most people that are into expeditions are not digging in our own soil.
Good point.
Yeah,
They want to go and ravage Egypt.
I'm trying to figure it all out. But I guess he made a one enemy too many, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Or he
Who,
found something he
Elias?
shouldn't
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, or found something he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I mean, a cult of the bloody this death cult thing. I mean, that's not a normal. Just I made an enemy.
Yeah, but no. So you got this cult of the bloody tongue, and you got this. Is it a title or is it an actual thing? This cult of darkness thing. Does anybody know?
No, he was talking about it.
Like cults in general.
Oh yeah, I don't.
That's something we probably could ask.
We would need to ask somebody who went to that lecture.
Or that's the question we sent in the telegram. Is the Cult of Darkness a title? Is it an actual cult? Or was it just covering death cults in general?
Yeah, it's a lot of information to be sending out. I mean, you're talking about...
What
you know,
is Cult of
Yeah,
Darkness? Stop.
It just says
Yeah.
the Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and the Southwest Pacific. So
So that, okay, looking
have
at the
been.
bill, that seems like that's an actual title for a cult and not just a generalization of death cults in general.
yeah.
yeah.
Matt, is this something that we might have some knowledge of?
You'd have to go, honestly, you'd have to go to Miskatonic or speak to someone at Miskatonic to find out what the professor was working on there. The Southwest Pacific and Polynesia is not your area of expertise. And he was, I mean, he's from Australia. That's kind of like working in your backyard at that point. So he kind of has, he's known to be one of the foremost experts in that area.
Well, Daulphus, you can't exactly go back to the university, but you could put a phone call in the morning and see if you could track anything down, wouldn't you?
Might have somebody back there that can look up some things for me.
All right, that's a plan. So at this point, it looks like we're going to do. So, do we want to send a telegram to the good Australian professor?
I don't think we do that tonight. Well,
it'd have to wait till the morning either way.
yeah, I am actually going to retire, and if you don't mind, don't have a whole lot I can offer you based on the information we have here. It will take me going to a library, reaching out to some people to find out any other information. So I may just excuse myself to my sleeping quarters for wherever that may be.
So before I retire, I want to look at the. So I'm not sure how long developing pictures take.
About an hour.
Okay. I'm going to go.
In the
I'm
dark.
I'm hoping that you got a shot of his chest cavity. I want to look at the picture and see if they removed the heart.
Sure, you can roll.
Yeah, that was not
Spot
mentioned.
hidden.
Luck.
Luck.
And we're going to make it half a luck.
No. 83.
There is a good picture of it. You're not familiar with the inner viscera of, there's a lot of red.
Okay.
As a nurse,
You can
could
look
I
at it.
have would I have noticed? Could I remember?
You didn't see that any of the organs were missing. Doesn't mean there wasn't something. You didn't poke around. So maybe something.
Yeah, I didn't like reach inside or nothing.
But also the heart sits behind the lungs, so
Sure.
you might not have noticed right away that if the heart was missing or not.
Okay.
And they could have taken out a gallbladder. You never would have noticed.
Sure.
That's the new appendectomy.
It is. It
That's
is.
how you-
Everybody's lost their
yeah.
gallbladder.
I don't want to go through that kind of removal.
Because then you don't have the gall to do anything.
But
Yeah. Welcome to my humor, folks. Sorry if you don't like it. This is what you get.
I'm playing magnet games over here. So.
Right.
okay, so that's all. That's one thing I wanted to check on before I guess we retire for our evening. Look at the gross picture one more time before I try to get some sleep.
Gotta have my nightmare fuel.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna retire. You're looking at the pictures.
I am. I'm done.
And then I'll retire after.
Give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. 92. That's way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look through the pictures. You don't see anything of note anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on, but not anything else you really see.
Okay.
All right. So.
Yep. And I head back to where I'm staying.
Sure.
And I'll actually tell you. Look, I told the cops I'd be at the stay-in there, so I need to return there and try in case they try and get a hold of me or you.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in the morning, Bobby.
Yeah. Stay
Okay.
safe.
And the rest of you three are going to stay at the office.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We're here. I got nowhere else to go.
I have room if if anybody does want someplace to stay.
I'm fine here.
Okay.
So the night goes by without an issue. The next day, you guys meet up in the morning back at Lockhart Investigations. Where are you guys headed from there?
Well, we should divide and conquer. I mean, you guys have got you and Daulphus, you and Ms. Rumtree, apologies.
That's all right. You may call me Jewell.
Oh, well, thank you. You and Jewell have your university connections. I think Bobby and I will send out some telegrams.
And I'm actually carrying a very long case. That's leather.
Okay.
That I'll probably put in the back end of the truck or the car.
Okay.
Just never can be too sure at this point. I don't have a handgun, you know.
Yeah, I don't either right now.
You might have a spare at the office.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Did you legitimately bring a rifle?
It's not technically a rifle, but yeah.
It's an elephant gun. It shoots elephants.
That's right. That's right.
It's a 12 gauge shotgun. I mean.
Okay. Well, that's.
You know.
No, that is definitely not technically nor literally a rifle. That is.
All right.
I know a thing or two about firearms. You don't have to.
No, I'm just it's one of those things where I'm not that. It's like I'm driving around with a weapon and backing in my car. You'd think I was like some.
It's 1925. Nobody cares.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Okay.
So where are you guys headed first, or what are you doing first? You also have some other leads, if you think this through. Jonah Kensington.
Who was Jonah Kensington?
The publisher.
Oh yes.
So you got Jonah Kensington for sure. You do have Emerson Imports. That's a place in Indianapolis. Nope. In New York.
In New York.
Those are definitely two things that you could.
I may go check
places.
out Emerson Imports. That sounds like they might import things that perhaps I have knowledge of.
I will go. So, are we going to split up into teams? Because I don't think any of us should probably go off.
Nobody should go by themselves.
We'll cover more ground, but I mean, if we split up, like
Daulphus and I could probably go talk to the importer, unless you had somewhere else you wanted to be, Professor.
No, that's good. And then we can go by the library while we're out.
Okay.
then Bobby and I can go send out a couple of telegrams and then go talk to the publisher Jonah.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So, out of character, the Emerson card was found on Elias, or was it found on?
It was found on
The
the
cultist.
cultist.
Okay.
Which they would have taken from him.
Yeah, you feel pretty confident that it was taken from him because they had nothing else on them.
Okay, cool.
To be carrying a single business card with some dude's name on it seems kind of
I
odd.
don't know. Maybe he was looking for a vase.
And what was the publisher's name? Jonah what?
Kensington.
Kensington.
Jonah? Sir Jonah Kensington.
Of the East Side Kensington.
That's right. All right.
So, who do we want to start with?
Let's. We can go ahead and start. I think
Okay, so you're headed to the Emerson Imports.
if they are open this fine day.
All right. You follow the address, takes you to a long, narrow building. There's loading docks on both sides. The building is a warehouse piled high with freight and with a small set of offices upstairs at the front. A Mr. Arthur Emerson, a man in his 50s, recalls the visits of Jackson Elias. So Jackson came in. He had been checking importers to find connections to Mombasa. I am the U.S. agent for a Mombasan exporter named Aja Singh. And his only known U.S. account happens to be the Juju House, which I've got an address here for you if you need it.
I would love that address.
It's 1 Ransom Court, New York, New York.
Okay. And that's where Aja Singh is?
No. Aja Singh is in Mombasa.
Okay.
That is where the Juju House is. I feel pretty positive saying that Elias intended to visit Juju House. I'm not sure if he got that far.
Okie dokie. She didn't say that. I said that.
Right.
That's a Roxanne phrase. What sort of things do you import here?
Whatever people pay for me to import. Honestly, it's a lot of priceless goods, a lot of higher end goods.
Artifacts.
Sometimes, yeah.
Archaeological digs.
Sometimes.
Things of that nature.
Yeah.
Interesting. You pulling anything lately that is I'm not an archaeologist, but I know a lot about it.
Sure.
I'm a museum curator and always looking for somebody else to.
Do you want to pull the Emerson Imports card up onto,
Sure.
so that even if it's just for us here?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Badink.
that's not
That's
it.
not it, but I'm close.
You're going the wrong way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
You're looking for number like 15, I think. There it is.
So, I can't read that. What's the
Silas Inquain.
name? Inquain?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have somebody that works here by the name of Mr. Inquain?
Mr. Inquain runs the Juju House.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What had you been bringing in for Elias?
You mean for the Juju House? What I
Sure.
brought in for them?
Yeah, but didn't Jackson visit recently too?
To find out about
Oh, to
Mombasa.
find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
The
Misunderstood.
Juju House, they're so remember earlier when we talked about this is for our viewers, the module is written with a 1920s.
Oh, this is so. We're gonna.
Those the people over at the Juju House are darky foreigners, bad to boot.
Ooh,
Man, that's so uncomfortable.
that is so uncomfortable. Yeah. Just
Whew.
they have a higher melanin.
I did tell Elias the same thing. I am sad to hear that Mr. Elias is no longer with us.
I'll just assume that we mentioned that on our way in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That raises a question,
Sure.
Matt.
Yeah.
The cultists that we shot, what ethnicity were they?
Mombasan.
Mombasa.
I don't.
Do you know where Mombasa is? You, the player.
Not offhand.
Okay. It's in Kenya, and you
Okay,
know that.
So Kenyan.
You
we
know
the
that.
cult is Kenyan.
Yes. So I would say that your character probably isn't familiar enough with different regions of Africa to really be able to tell where they're from. Just that they were in fact African.
Right. Well, that's pretty much what I was looking for.
Sure. You can put two and two together. That's fine. I would do the same, but your character does not have the knowledge to do that. It would be an assumption. So
yes, what were you bringing in for the Juju House?
I don't open those packages. It was very clear that I should not open those.
Interesting. Is that normal
they
protocol?
They pass customs, and that's what's important.
Do you often not open?
Sometimes.
Only if you're asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes things are very fragile.
Sure.
So.
Well, I mean, when you're dealing with.
I will say a lot of them smelled a lot like tea.
Oh, like a
but
certain
like
type of tea.
Yeah, a good Indian tea, like an
Interesting.
oolong.
Like an oolong.
Yeah, I'm not a tea drinker myself, but
You know-
these were quite fragrant.
Where I come from, we drink it iced. Not
Yes.
hot, but
with lots of sugar.
but up here it is very, very, very cold. So an iced tea would not be nearly as refreshing as it is.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So, that's I don't know what else I can really tell you about
that's fine.
Mr.
That's fine.
Inquain or the Juju House, but
So yeah, we'll probably just you already gave me the address for the Juju House,
Mhm.
so I'm sure we'll check there. Daulphus, did you have anything else you'd like to talk to Mr. Emerson about?
No, not here.
where are you guys headed next? You mentioned the library. Now you have the Juju House. Are you gonna go straight to the library?
That's up to you, Hardgrove.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look at a few things. Just needed a library, do a little bit of research.
Sure.
Also wanted to contact Miss Atwell.
Sure.
Outright.
Outright. Yeah, you can send off. Do you want to call her?
Yes, we can call back to the university.
Sure.
Or call down to Harvard and see if we can get in touch with her.
Sure. So you give a call to Harvard. She, after a couple of minutes, is on the phone with you. How can I help you, Professor?
So I explained to her who about Elias, and that we were looking into what he was working with her on, what book he was looking for.
Mr. Elias sought a book called Africa's Dark Sects. I want to make sure that T is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Sects. But the book seems to have disappeared from the Widener Library several months before Mr. Elias sought it out.
Interesting.
Okay. It was quite mysterious. There was an unspeakable odor in the collection the day that we noticed the book was missing.
Really?
Yes. I did
Could
admire.
you describe this odor?
Odorous. Putrid.
Ooh, okay, so not tea.
No, not tea. It was. I did admire Mr. Elias. His books were very informative. I know that some of his reviews were not as good as they could have been, but I found that his writing was easy to read and very interesting.
Yes, he'll be missed with among the community.
Yes. Any other questions you have for her?
No. Thank you very much, Ms. All right. We wanted to know what he was looking for to see if it might help us put together some of the dots here involving what happened to him.
Sure. And then you're headed to the library?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I need both of you to roll library use.
Mm-hmm.
I got 39 under 50.
Okay.
I rolled a 34 under 75.
That would
All
be.
right. So that's a hard
that is
success.
a hard success.
So yeah, 37. Like so.
Yeah. You guys spend several hours in the library really tracking things down. What you find is that the Cult of the Bloody Tongue was an offshoot of an unnamed cult that was driven out of a dynastic Egypt. So this isn't a new thing. This has been around for a while. There is the cult is that of the god of the Bloody Tongue. So the Bloody Tongue is their deity. It is centered in Kenya, and
And it was driven out of dynastic
Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah, so thousands of years ago.
Have I ever seen anything else remotely related to, or
No.
heard of a bloody tongue god?
No, most of the artifacts that you guys have are not cult related.
Sure.
So,
But sometimes those things pop up.
yeah, no. You haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Um,
And the symbol that was carved into the man's forehead.
that is the symbol of the Bloody Tongue.
Okay. And I've never seen it before.
No. And the only reason that the professor had seen it is he came across it randomly.
Sure. Interesting. All right. Well.
Okay, so the other things that I want to look up here, would they have some photographs of Chinese harbors, ports of harbor, that I might try to compare?
Oh yeah,
to what we
roll.
saw
Give
in
me
the
give me another library use, both of you. And if you succeeded on that first one, you did of course check that box.
Oh, I
Yes.
get to check a box now.
What does that do mechanically wise?
Oh, that's a
for
good
us?
question, and is now a great time to tell our viewers that at the end of a time period that I decide, it'll be at the end of the chapter. We will make advancement rolls. I don't think they're called advancement rolls, but that's the idea. Basically, anything you have that has a box that's been checked, you will roll percentile. If you roll above it, you will then roll a d10 and add that much to that. So it can improve your skills. We'll also do some other improvements so that you guys have a chance to bump around some skills if you realize you've missed something or you need to pick something up, like another language. We can do a little bit of
Or
that.
a gun. I know that's not a skill.
That's a purchase.
I know.
So,
I'm joking.
I
I got a hard success on that.
okay. Did you
I
get
just got a regular success.
Okay. Yeah, the background, although it is pretty grainy and blurry, matches up with Shanghai pretty solidly.
Okay.
You feel confident having looked at that in a couple other cities, including Hong Kong. It does not match up with anything else except Shanghai.
Sounds good.
And from the position of it, you realize that the boat is on. I'm looking for the information. Hold on. The Wangpu River.
That is not a joke.
No, it is not.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, there's a joke in there, but I'm not.
No. Don't worry. Later we'll get to the Seamen's Club. That's not a joke either. It's actually in here.
Well, the Navy is full of men of the sea. Tell you, thought the 21-year-old would be the problem.
So, also in the back there is a. Oh, that's what helps you. Never mind. That's what helps you identify what city it's in. So, yeah.
Okay.
Just the skyline.
What in heavens?
So yeah. Any other questions or any other things you want to look at the library?
I don't believe
I think that was it.
Okay.
I don't believe I have any questions for the library.
Okay. Let's slide over to Lockhart and Blackwood investigations.
Okay.
He's not a partner yet.
John. There you go. So what are you guys doing? You guys are headed to Kensington?
Well, we're going to, on the way to Kensington, let's stop by the telegraph office and send off a couple of telegrams. I want to send one to Edward
Gavigan?
Gavigan.
Okay.
Let him know.
Well, hold on. No. Tell me what the telegram says.
Well, yeah, I'm discussing this
okay,
with.
yeah, sure,
I'm discussing this with Bobby.
Yeah.
So I want to send a telegram off to Edward Gavington of the Penhu Foundation. Let him know what happened to Elias, and find out if he has talked to him recently.
Okay.
And then I also like to send a telegram off to Anthony Cowlis. I know Jewell and the professor were going to be looking into it, but I want to see if there's any connection to his lectures and this bloody tongue thing. And then we'll go by and talk to Kensington and find out what was going on with him. So, all right, so let's drive to the telegraph office.
Let's do it.
All right. So what does your telegraph say?
So we're going to send it. The first one is going to be sent to Edward Gavigan. Looking for information on Elias Jackson.
Jackson Elias.
Jackson. Okay. Sorry, Jackson Elias.
For information on Jackson Elias.
Recently.
Okay.
Was murdered.
Recently murdered.
Was recently murdered.
Okay.
Need to know if he approached you for any information on death cults.
Need to know any contact. Sorry. This is Bobby rewriting it so it's shorter and costs him a whole lot less money.
That's fine.
Need to know any contact about death cults. Because you just spent his whole inheritance the way you were saying it. Okay.
And sign it, Lockhart Investigations. Or,
Sure.
And then the next one we're going to send to Professor Cowlis.
Mm-hmm.
Inquiry about your recent lecture.
Inquiry about lecture.
Inquiry recent lecture.
Cult of Darkness.
On Cult of Darkness.
Sure. Cult of Darkness. Okay.
And if there possible connections with the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Connections. Cult of Bloody Tongue. You guys ever seen the we'll be right back. We have a couple of technical difficulties. And by technical I mean dog difficulties, but we'll figure it out. You ever seen the episode of The Office where Kevin decides he doesn't have to say all the words?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how. That is exactly what telegrams look like.
Oh, I know. I was trying to format it like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's way before my time.
Uh-oh, we've been invaded.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put up the whole screen? I didn't.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
We have dogs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we have rambunctious dogs that they wanted out.
Yeah, before they destroy my door.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought someone was sawing. That's what it sounded
Yeah.
like on the.
Okay, so those are sent.
Okay.
London's going to take a better part of a day to get back. Australia could take a whole lot longer. I mean, you're literally the other side of the world.
It was a long shot.
Yeah, I get it.
I know the other two are going to be looking into that information themselves.
So
but
from there, you're going to Kensington?
yes,
All right.
and his first name was
Jonah.
Jonah.
The offices of Prospero are located on Lexington Avenue near 35th Street. This modest concern does not aim for bestsellers. It's an unheard of concept, but rather for books which deserve to be published because they will be they will interest select readers for generations to come. So basically, they're looking for quality of writing and research.
And
Exactly.
Kensington is going to be familiar with me. He's going to know me, right? Sort.
No, not really. You're familiar with who he is.
Okay.
You might have met him in passing with Jackson.
With Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you come in, there is a secretary, kind of not a little old lady, but she's definitely well past 50.
Okay.
She stands up and says, "Welcome to Prospero House. How may I help you?"
Hi, my name is Aaron Lockhart. I run in a private investigation firm, and I would really like to speak to Jonah Kensington.
Okay. Can I ask what this would be concerning?
This would have to concern Jackson Elias.
Oh, okay. Let me see if Mr. Kensington is available. She gets up and kind of walks to the door behind her, goes inside, doesn't shut all the way, and you can kind of barely hear her talking. And he says, "Oh, friends of Jackson? Yeah, bring them in, bring them in." And she opens the door and says,
Sorry, that was me. I'm sorry.
"First your dogs, now you."
So
She
whoops.
says, "Yeah," or she says, "Go on in. Mr. Kensington would be happy to speak with you."
I walk into the room.
Excellent. It's good to meet you both. I'm Jonah Kensington, and you are Mr. Lockhart.
Aaron Lockhart.
He
Yes.
grabs your hand. Good, vigorous handshake. And your friend here?
This is my associate, Bobby Blackwood.
Nice to meet you.
You want to unmute him?
Oh,
Do you want to unmute him?
Nice to meet
sorry.
you.
I decided to mute myself. Guys, it's first time.
You're doing
Doing a lot of stuff at once.
Can you prep number 20 if you have a chance? If you have it ready.
Ooh, I do not have that
or
one ready.
21, I guess. Okay, never mind. Then
You
we'll.
told me 18 was it.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that.
I didn't realize we were going to hit this particular thing, so don't worry
It's
about it.
Apologies. I'll have it next week.
No worries.
We'll fix it in post.
So, how can I help you guys with Mr. Elias?
When is the last time you spoke to him?
He was coming into town. Should have been last night.
Okay.
Should have gotten here. I spoke to him. It's been a couple of weeks, I think. He gave me a call. He sent a package. Some notes.
Okay. You may want to sit down.
Okay.
I unfortunately have to inform you that Jackson is dead.
What happened?
It's being investigated. We were there, not when it happened. He was murdered in his hotel room, apparently by two cult figures.
Oh, Jackson.
It was not. It was violent. I won't go into the gory details. We have photographic evidence of it. If you,
I mean, he's researched so many death cults. The Thuggy were not happy.
the who?
The Thuggy.
The Thuggy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Thuggy. Did you ever watch Indiana Jones Temple of Doom? Those are the Thuggy.
Okay.
So that's like the easy one. After writing that many books about secret societies like that, you don't mess with death cults. There's a word death involved there.
Bobby, what was the name of the cult that the professor told us?
The cult that this is involving is the cult of the bloody tongue. Although there is also something called the cult of death. Like in general, I mean...
So, the Cult of the Bloody Tongue...
sorry, Cult of Darkness.
Cult of Darkness, that's the one.
Hold on just a second. He goes over to a filing cabinet, opens it up, and pulls out a brown paper package that has been retied. Obviously, it's not wrapped as tightly as it was, and the paper's been crinkled quite a bit. And he unties it, and there are stacks of note paper in there. Each one is bound... Or there's seven of them bound separately with just string in a couple of places. And he looks at the first one, sets it aside, looks at the second one, looks at the third one, and then he picks up the fourth one. And he says, "Yeah, that's what I thought." And he puts it back down. He says, "Yeah, is that who killed him?"
Well, they carved their symbol into his forehead.
Okay.
And they cracked his chest open like an egg.
So he had recently been in Nairobi, sent me back this research for his next book, and this was primarily about the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Okay, so that's definitely the stuff. I mean,
That is the stuff.
we'd really like those papers.
So I'll let you know. The reason we were at Jackson's hotel room was he was wanting us to look into something. We don't know what it is, but he was wanting my help and Professor Daulphus's help.
I'm sorry, who?
Professor
Hardgrove.
Daulphus Hardgrove?
The gentleman, he's up in Miskatonic?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
Jackson's worked with him before. He's gone to him for some research like myself.
Well, so I got this research back in August, or early September. He shuffles back, and like between two of the stacks is a note, and he kind of hands it to you. It says, August 8th, 1924, Nairobi. Dear Jonah, big news. There is a possibility that not all of the members of the Carlisle expedition died. I have a lead. Though the authorities here deny the cult angle, sorry, this is in cursive and it's a little tough to read. The natives sing a different tune. You wouldn't believe the stories. Some prior notes coming your way. This one may make us all rich. Blood and kisses, J. P.S. I'll need advance money to follow this one up. More later. He says, I'm going to have to speak with the police before I can just hand this over to you. I want to make sure that the story you've given me so far is true, but as long as it is, if these notes can help lead to the capture of his murderer...
Look, I mean, I understand where you're coming from on this and everything. I do, but two things. I mean, first and foremost, one of his murderers is already dead.
Okay.
The second is these guys are not from around here.
Right. Nairobi's, half a world away.
Like, we saw who killed him. I want to make this clear. We saw who killed him. And one of them escaped. One of them is now dead. Okay?
Okay.
Now, he's not going to be sticking around here unless he's here for something else.
Can you, do you have, persuade?
Yeah, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got that skill.
Yeah, no, I'm very good at it.
Or intimidate, if you have to intimidate.
I have persuade.
Okay, go for it.
That is, I have an 80 and I rolled an 18.
So it's not an extreme.
Not
It's,
extreme, but
or wait, no. You have numbers on there.
Yeah, I
the fifth
do.
of 80 is...
So I
think
am
it's lower
just
than
2
18.
points away from an extreme, so I'll
Two.
spend 2 points.
Make sure you mark those.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose 2 points of luck. So make that an
Yep.
extreme success. He's been kind of sitting on the edge of his desk. He stands up, walks to the office door.
Sanity,
Oh,
the
thank
Lux down
you.
one.
I am.
Don't mark off sanity. You don't mark
That
off
could have been a
one.
lot more fun. What are you talking about? And
He
I
wa-
actually didn't use those. So.
He walks to the office door and he says, 3 coffees. Or he sticks his head out, says 3 coffees and the whiskey bottle. And she and goes and sits down in his chair, which is the first time he's been back behind his desk the whole time. He's been very cordial and open with you.
I mean, you'd be best served.
I'm gonna need. And she comes in with a tray, with 3, cups of coffee on saucers. Kind of hands one to each of you. There's also a bottle of brown liquid. Doesn't have a label on it. She hands all of them over, and then she pours probably 2 fingers of whiskey into his, and then she offers the bottle to you, Lockhart.
I'm gonna pour 2 fingers.
And then
I just have the coffee.
he stirs it with his little spoon and takes probably half of the cup down and sets it down and says, you're going to take care of this?
Yeah, we are going to take care of this.
Okay. I think that maybe I should go visit my family upstate. Get out of town for right now.
Well, that sounds very smart.
I'm going to leave these notes here. I'm not giving them to you. I'm going to leave these notes right here on my desk, and I'm going to start making calls. I'm not sure what will happen with the notes, though.
Did you bring your camera with you?
No.
I'm
There's
taking them.
you don't have that much of a film. Like, there are pages and
Pages?
pages and
Gotcha.
pages.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take them.
Okay. Just do me a favor. When you find out what happened, you'll tell me,
Definitely.
and you'll make sure that whoever did this doesn't stick around and do it again.
Most assuredly.
Okay. And he kind of stands up and starts readying things, takes his cup of coffee, sets it down on another filing cabinet while he's going through it, and then you see him quickly down that, walk over, pick up the whiskey bottle, and set it down next to the cup of the coffee and pour a little more just whiskey in.
All right, let's take the papers
And he clearly has his back to you.
let's take them and skedaddle.
Taking them.
Okay. Where are you guys going from there?
Let's go back to the office.
He had a secretary, right?
Yeah.
I drop off a bill and say, hey, wherever he's trying to go, you probably need to make sure that he gets a driver. He doesn't need to be driving right now.
No, most assuredly. He doesn't ask for the whiskey bottle often. What kind of, you drop a bill, like a 5?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
A bill nowadays is you dropped $100,000.
Yeah.
Or you dropped $100 bill.
Yeah, which is a lot of money. Okay,
She quits her
so
job, pays off her house.
I guess there are 8 bundles, but it's not a big deal. So you guys head back to the office. You're gonna kind of go over the notes.
Yeah, while we're waiting for the
Okay.
professor and...
Well, they're gonna be gone for a few hours. So here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
The notes are neat printing. You can put this up, number 21. I saw you prepped it.
Yeah, I did.
The notes are in neat print. They are reasonably well organized and seem in many ways complete. However, it's remarkable that there is an absence of conclusion, connections, or clearly defined themes. The hand that wrote it is strong and bold. So there's a lot of information here, but he didn't really finalize anything. So this is basically his notes to write the conclusions he would have come up with.
Okay.
Set 1 is of the Nairobi notes, sets forth the offices, officials, and tribes which Elias visited, searching for materials concerning cults and cult rituals. Nothing conclusive was learned, though Elias discounts the official version of the Carlisle massacre.
Interesting.
Set 2 describes his trip to the massacre site. He notes particularly that the earth there was completely barren, and that all the tribes in the region avoid the place, saying it is cursed by the god of the black winds, whose home is the mountaintop. Set 3 is an interview with Johnston Kenyatta. So that's John Stone, one word, Kenyatta, like Kenya, TTA. Who says that the Carlisle murders have been performed by the cult of the Bloody Tongue. He says that the cult reputedly is based in the mountains, and that its high priestess is part of the Mountain of the Black Winds. Elias is politely skeptical, but Kenyatta insists upon the point. In quotes, Elias records that the regional tribes fear and hate the bloody tongue. The tribal magic is of no protection against the cult, and that the cult's god is not of Africa. Set 4 follows up on the Kenyatta interview. Elias confirms from several good sources that the bloody tongue exists, though he finds no first-hand evidence of it. Tales include children stolen for sacrifice. Creatures with great wings are said to come down from the Mountain of the Black Wind to carry people off. The cult worships a god unknown to folklorists, one fitting no traditional African pattern. Elias, in particular, cites Sam Mariga, RR-STA.
Okay.
Set 5 as a single sheet reminding Elias that the Cairo-based portion of the Carlisle itinerary must be examined carefully. He believes that the reason which prompted Carlisle's Kenyan side trip is on the Nile. Set 6 is a long interview with Lieutenant Mark Selkirk, leader of the men who actually found the remains of the Carlisle expedition, and a Kenya hand since the Great War, and the fight against the resourceful von Lettow. Importantly, Selkirk says that the bodies were remarkably undecayed for the length of time which they lay in the open, almost as if decay itself wouldn't come near the place, quote unquote. Secondly, the men had been torn apart as if by animals, though what sort of animals would pull apart bodies so systematically he could not guess. Quote, unimaginable, inexplicable, unquote. Selkirk agrees that the Nandis may have had something to do with the episode, but suspects that the charges against the ringleaders were trumped up. Quote, it wouldn't be the first time, unquote, he said cynically. Finally, Selkirk confirms that no Caucasians were found among the dead, only corpses of the Kenyan bearers were scattered across the barren plain. Set 7 is another single sheet. Elias ran into Nails Nelson at the Victoria Bar in Nairobi. Nelson had been a mercenary for the Italians on the Somali Abyssinian border and had escaped into Kenya after double-crossing his employers. Nelson claims to have seen Jack Brady alive.
He was part of the expedition.
Yep, that was in March of 1923 in Hong Kong, less than 2 years before Elias was in Kenya and long after the Kenyan courts declared that Brady and the rest of the expedition were dead. Brady was friendly, though guarded and taciturn. Nelson didn't press the conversation. From this report, Elias deduced the other members of the expedition might still be alive. Set 8 discusses a possible structure for the Carlisle book, but is mostly featureless with entries like, tell what happened, and explain why.
Nice.
Well, Bobby, I can see what Jackson meant by getting rich. It looks like he expects at least the prominent members of the expedition to still be alive.
Maybe. Well, the thing is, I mean, some of them might be alive, but he's got a definite lead.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I am curious about all that because there's another person in town we can definitely go talk to.
I agree.
Well, that's actually a great place for us to stop tonight. We are right at that mark. So for our chat people, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Pumpkin King 8287. We will be doing this again on the 24th. Remember, this is fortnightly, which is just a fancy way of saying every other week.
We did talk about rebroadcasting maybe on the off week.
We will be rebroadcasting this episode next week, so if you missed any of this, it'll be there.
And you have time.
And in a couple of, I'd say about a month after we record these, they will be going up on YouTube as well. And we'll kick that link into our information on the channel when we get there.
Do we want to shout out where people can find us individually?
Yeah. And you guys can give your Twitters or not. We haven't super discussed this. I am at Quiett, Quiett, on the Twitter. and I have an Instagram, but if you want to look at food from 7 years ago, you're more than welcome to go there and find me. You can also find me at Nerds Domain. I do some podcasting over there. We've actually run this particular adventure with other people before. This is already going way different. Nobody got shot 17 times, and no one broke an ankle. No,
Wow.
that was a good game too. This one is just different. It's a pretty good time so far.
Awesome. My name is Roxanne. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Rooworks, ROOWERKS. And and I'm on the Facebooks.
I'm on the Facebooks.
I'm on the Facebooks. Passion Nerdly Podcasts is what John and I usually post on Facebook under. So I'm sure he'll give you more details on that. But
John?
Yeah. So, hi, I'm John Thompson, and yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Passion Nerdly. And yeah, my wife and I are both with Passion Nerdly Podcasts, and that's pretty much a good place to find us. But PassionNerdly.com is a great way to look us up as well.
Yeah.
And I'm Shawn. You can find me on Twitter at Bink26. If you want to look at pictures of my adventures in miniature painting, that's what I've been posting a lot of.
They've been
right
really
now.
good. I've been enjoying those.
Thank you.
Next time you should bring the Cthulhu statue.
Yeah, I meant to grab it on the way out. I
Didn't
didn't.
happen.
But yeah, I'm also on Facebook. I will throw a link up on my Twitter on how to get there. And then I just do off and on podcasting with John and Roxanne for their other ventures.
seriously, let's play.
Seriously,
Yeah,
let's play
seriously,
good
let's play.
stuff.
Yep.
That's it.
And David, any social media you want to shout out?
You're
Oh.
muted, David. You're muted, boss.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can. Yes.
Okay. So I am just a lurker on all my social media except my personal Facebook. So maybe I'll get something public set up that I'll give out later.
Sure. That's great.
Nobody wants to look at my social media and Twitter and all that right now where I don't post anything. So
Not a problem. You guys, thank you guys for watching. We were
Yes,
happy
thank
to
you.
have you out on, and this is a long campaign. This is the first part of chapter 1 of potentially 6. I
Oh,
mean, you
wow.
guys could hit chapter 2 and just yeah. I will also warn our viewers: no one at this table will have the same character when this is done. So
That does seem
keep
to
that
be the
in
case.
mind.
So don't get attached.
yeah.
Although I'm rather attached to Jewell Rumtree.
I'm a little attached to Jewell.
She needs to get a weapon, or else she's going to die real fast.
Fisticuffs? No, I pass.
What is it?
I thought her size was going to be her weapon.
That 1d3 plus damage bonus for my unarmed strike is not gonna fly.
See, that's why you need to hit up Aaron and get you some brass knuckles.
I was gonna say, yeah, I do need some knucks,
Yeah. Okay.
but we'll work on that next time.
All right.
She just thought she was coming to be a museum curator.
Yeah. No. Hey. Now you get to wear like a safari hat and like get a shotgun.
It's one of those cloche hats. That's
Is that what
I'm
those
gonna
called?
wear.
Okay. Oh yeah, with the slope.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear the slopey feminine one in my togs.
Right on. All right. Well,
Look it up if you don't know.
next week you can watch this again. In 2 weeks, on the 24th, we'll be back live 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and like 5 p.m. California
Mountain time.
times. I don't know.
It'll be
if you're in
4 p.m.
Hawaii, it'll be
California
middle
time.
of workday. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
But
thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thank
and
you.
Sign us off, Roxy.
Alrighty. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.